Let's replay. Let's replay the game, man. What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome. Come on in. I hope you have a very good Saturday, very good weekend here. Wait, I hear myself. That's good. That's good. I hope you had a good weekend. What did you do? Tell me. Tell me some stuff. Wait just a second. I'm gonna copy this thing because I don't know it on the top of my head. Mansoor, what's up, man? Welcome, welcome. Let me paste everything in here, right? Prepare. What's up? B Bossy 6. What's going on, man? Glad to have you here on board. Yes, the Twitter timeline is very, very sketchy these days. A lot of not safe for work. What's up, Noah Wilderam? How is your day going? My day is fine. Had an insane filthy chest pump this afternoon, I'm gonna lie. Did work this morning, basically working the whole day. It's Saturday, but it doesn't really matter, right? You know what I mean? Osama Ibrahim, what's up, my man? Me Tether, what's going on? Twitch homies. Always engineering, what's up? What's going on here? What are these soy devs responding here? That's what I like. It's my gym home. Look at that. What I prepared here. Look at this, man. I prepared the best of the best. Nogmaals. Alright, or we set actually. Hey, 17:30 clock. Pinpoint precise. That's amazing. What's up, Drizzle? Look at that! The Nightbot is in the game. Increase your chance to land your dream job and become a member of the Total Coder community. Get access to mini courses, real-world projects, and resume reviews. The problem is it's not on it's not on Twitch. It's only on YouTube, but it is what it is, man. What is what it is. Hey, if you want to check it out, guys, you know what I mean? Look at this beautiful website. Hello, my name is Anthony. Growing up, I often felt I wasn't very smart. And that's actually true. Check out the Total Coder, guys. It's my new community. It's my port of Patreon, and it's gonna be different. You know what I mean? Total Coder will basically means that I'm gonna transform you into a Total Coder. Very important, especially after what we're gonna see here, right? If you're stuck, if you're stuck with all these Udemy courses, you know what I mean? You're stuck in programming. You're stuck in life. That's something for you. And tomorrow is the first private live stream. Tomorrow. It's gonna be insane. Wow. Of course. Did you update the website? Of course, man. Updating them every day. It's still not where I want it to be, marketing wise, but I will get there. Piece by piece. Hello from Germany. Guten Tag. Wie geht's? Wie geht's, schöne Mädchen? I failed calling interview because of coroutines. Aha, is that true? Tell me, what's going on? Tell me why. What's happening? What did they ask you? Tell us. I'm very, very happy to see that. And do you think frontend is important for a DevOps backend engineer? Yes. Frontend is very important. I swear to God. What's up, Mani Movasa? Hello from Canada, man. That's crazy. Oh, global. Hello from South Africa. It's even more crazy. That's insane, man. People from all over the world. I remember you. You live in the Netherlands. Yet your accent is Spanish. Yeah, something like that. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened with my accent, man. I have no fucking clue why. Frontend, please explain. I will explain everything. Hello from Turkey. Merhaba Khan. Merhaba. Nasılsın? Çok güzel. Hastayım. Should I build your own ORM? Nah, I wouldn't do that. Frontend is crazy. Something like how center a div. Too many tiny stuffs. Frontend is very important. Why is that important? Because without a frontend, there is no backend. You know what I mean? But without a backend, there is no frontend. That's not true because you can fake it till you make it. You know what I mean? How many companies do you think have beautiful frontends, but they use Excel as their backend? A lot, right? A lot of. Same thing with Avenue, right? When we started Avenue, which right now is basically $1 million company. Yeah. That aged very well. But back in the day, we had this Next.js. I wrote the Next.js application with Teddy. And it was basically just some kind of a front-end application that could do... that looks like it could do a lot of stuff, but behind the scenes it was all a Fugazi. Which is normal, right? You just need to... If it works, right? But you need to have a front-end. Users need to see it. You need to onboard users. And you need to give the users the feeling that they can actually do something on the system. And how you handle that backend-wise is your problem. Of course, a good backend is always appreciated. I understand that. But the front end is very, very, very important because you can get away, in the backend you can get away with a lot, but in the front end, most likely not. If you have a bad UI, you're not going to use customers. You're not going to get customers. If you don't get customers, you're not going to get money. And then, before you know, there is no sipping margaritas on the beach. That's what they don't tell you, right? So basically writing a web game with C++ WebAssembly frontend stack, Golang backend and microservice shenanigans and Python for the AI, something like that. Yeah. Okay, so basically there is a company with no frontend at all, Terminal.shop. Yeah, but Terminal.shop is actually, to be honest, yeah, fingerprint me, baby. Come on, bro. What the hell is this? Yeah, so basically this thing already, you see, it's nice, right? It looks cool, it looks amazing. The problem is that so what's the problem with Terminal.shop is that what's that, man? How do I plus add move? So you see, it's already it looks fancy and all that. So I can plus add and all that. So it's weird, right? So can you imagine a Timmy is not going to navigate very well here, right? And they basically have the problem of like this is the user base, but they only cover this. You know what I mean? Everybody wants coffee, right? So this is basically $1 million. Right, sits here. But now the problem is that because it's so niche, it's only like $1 here. You know what I mean? Hey, just saying, I like the concept and it's very cool that they did that, but I mean, yeah, business wise, I don't know, man. Hey, they do what they want to do, right? I'm not gonna interfere with that stuff. I'm not gonna interfere with that thing. What is this? 100% zoomed in, you know. You need to be a developer to use it. That's true, right? And but in fact, they have their own niche. It's amazing, right? I mean, it's something new. It's refreshing. It will make money for sure. So people will buy that, and they will not buy it because listen. If somebody, you need to understand that if Jimmy at the fucking water cooler, nobody knows Jimmy at the fucking water cooler. If he made Terminal.shop, this guy was bankrupt. You know what I mean? He was already bankrupt before he even started the idea. But because it's the Prime and TJ and all the fanboys there, they have a lot of influence, so they can pull that off, right? They can pull that off. But I'm gonna be very honest here. If they do not scale that out with other stuff, if they do not, it's not gonna work out very well. It's a hype right now, and they could even sell dead cats and people will buy it. This is pure business-wise spoken, right? If I was an investor, if I was a VC, there are a lot of problems here. You know what I mean? But we're gonna see how it turns out, right? They made their name before the shop as well. Of course, it's all about the name, right? It's all about the name, and that's good, right? That's nice. But I like it, man. I think it's cool. I'm not gonna lie here, right? Who comes up with this idea? I think it's nice, right? Look at that. Another problem is that if I need coffee tomorrow, right? And it takes a while. But hey, it's like, it's fine. It's cool. Isn't it just the same as a merch store? Exactly, something like that, right? I think it's nice. It's a very cool idea. On the side, right? On the side. Of course, Prime and all these guys, they make money enough, right? With courses and Twitch and all that stuff. So It's good. It's Gucci. So basically, before we start, actually, what I want to ask you is very important here, is that for once in our lives, at this moment of the stream, what we need to do, guys, I want you to basically drop your emotions. Only for now, right? You can start the language wars and your own ideas and idioms. You can do that back when the stream is done. And we can shitpost on Twitter once again, discuss, trigger each other a little bit because it's fun, right? We're always friends, but that's how the tag community works. From time to time, we want to trigger each other a little bit. Why not? But we cannot do that right now because we need to be a little bit, we need to put our emotions aside and we need to think a little bit with our, how do we call that? Rational mind here, right? Because I get a lot of questions. That's normally if you make content about tech, a lot of people come in from the new kids that want to come into programming, the people that are in uni or something like that. They see Golang, they want to learn about Golang, they want to learn about other languages, and they get confused by social media and they hop and they swap and they don't know what to use, and tomorrow it's JavaScript and then it's Python and then it's Elixir. For the people, for the fanboys of my accent, Elixir. And then it's Rust and Zig, and then you have Borgo, that other stuff thing, and we need to stop doing that, right? Alright, Mansoor is again giving a lot of money. Thanks for the tier 1 gifted sub, man. How many did you give? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's crazy. 5 gifted. Thank you, Mansoor Baitar. You know what I mean? Why C++ preferred over Rust in game development? Because, listen, the first thing we're gonna cover a lot of things. I have sketched out some stuff I want to talk about because it's very, very important, right? Like I said, what I'm gonna say is gonna make me very unpopular, but it's fine. Like I said, my content is pure. You know what I mean? It's like, it's my opinion, but it's based on my experiences, right? And I have a very, very backtrackable career, successful career, but also unsuccessful career. You know what I mean? It's like it's very backtrackable, right? I don't have some kind of a fang behind my name. I just started out YouTube with nothing, right? I don't have, hey, I work at Netflix, or hey, I work at Twitch. I don't have that, right? I work at my own companies, right? So there's a lot of experience, there's a lot of struggle happened to come where I am today, right? With a lot of lessons learned. And I'm gonna show you some cool stuff, also games why, and I made AAA games, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I swear to God, I'm gonna show you. Some people already saw that, right? But I'm gonna show you. I made a AAA game, but it's in the graveyard. Oh my goodness. Wait, so for someone who is currently a front-end dev, what's the best way to transition into back-end work? I would not transition, I would just transition into full stack. I would say it like that. You have started with charisma, which is much better than Fang. I don't know if I have charisma, man. I have a lot of haters, but it's fine. You need to have that, right? Haters is fine. If you do not have haters, people are not talking about you. You know what I mean? And that's also depends on what you want, right? But I make haters my fan from time to time, and that's cool, right? Okay, so basically, first thing I'm gonna say is, right, emotions drop. If you don't see your programming language on these blocks, hey, I'm sorry, but you can just diss them, right? Rust, I would not learn it. Zig, I would not learn it. Odin, I would not learn it. I mean, even Elixir, I would not learn it. OCaml, I would not learn all this stuff, you know what I mean? Unless you're at a certain level and you have some free time, and instead of playing a game or instead of whatever, going to the club and sniff some cocaine or something, hey, then learning one of these languages would be cool. But this is especially because people are struggling getting a job. They are struggling finding a language to learn or to focus on so they can enter the job market or they can level a little bit up. I would not learn these languages because they are actually not that adopted, right? They seem very popular on YouTube and they seem very popular on Twitch on Twitter and all that stuff. And on Twitch because all these famous YouTubers, they're using it. But in reality, these languages are basically not not adopted, right? That's the thing. That's a little bit of a problem. I wrote Elixir in production, right? And the reason why they used Elixir, I don't even know how to pronounce it correctly. The reason why they used that was with this company, Nash.io, this one. Look at that. They used their whole matching engine and their whole stack actually is written in Elixir. Back in the day, not quite sure what they use now, but I think it's going to be the same thing. It's a decentralized stuff, very popular. They use Elixir, right? And the only reason they use that is because they could do hot swaps, right? In production, just hot swap, boom. You can do that with Erlang, right? And that's something that people do not talk about that much, but it's a very interesting thing. Anyway, that's that. So what I need to talk about, right? WhatsApp also uses the same. Yeah, they use Erlang. Yeah, that's true. That's true. See, web dev backend is big as well. Yeah, like I said, there's gonna be some. I'm gonna probably gonna have some lang. We're gonna discuss these, right? And we're gonna have some roadmaps because people are navigating it a little bit wrongly, I think. But like I said, for web dev, of course, you're gonna have C# stuff going on. I 100% agree. But I mean, do we really need to? Okay, well, let's do that. Okay, you're right. You're right. I wrote a lot of C# myself, guys, and I'm gonna show everything. Like I said, this is no bullshit. I'm gonna show you everything what I did, so you can actually believe somebody, right? Because before somebody is talking bullshit on a fucking YouTube channel, which is basically 99% of all the channels, you need to basically backtrack the guy. You know what I mean? Because he can say whatever he wants, right? You know. You're missing .NET. Well, C# is .NET. Let us just keep it that, right? Microservices, yeah, I think we have everything, right? Maybe for DevOps, I mean, this is the grosso modo, you know what I mean? It's like the big scope of things, you know? Yeah, C#. All right, Dario comes up with a big comment. I'm gonna read it anyway. I still say Odin for games, probably a really nice thought. I like Odin. I really like Odin. I have written things in Odin. Yeah, I really like it. The thing is that it's in the game industry. So there are two different things, right? You have programming as a weekend warrior and programming in the industry. There are two complete different things, right? You can be a programmer in Odin and in Zik and in whatever language you want in the weekend, and that's fine. And they're gonna solve the same thing. But in the industry, like Odin is not very well adopted, right? Even Rust not, you know what I mean? It's like Odin, they have, how is the thing called? Ember Gem is written in this thing. This huge, very popular graphic, what is it? Like this animation system, particle animation system is written in Odin. But I think that's it, right? And I see some people from time to time write games in Odin, and that's fine. But if you want to work in the industry, most of the time you're gonna deal with C++ and C#. What about mobile development? Actually, to be honest, this is so true. We forgot mobile development. Man, but it does not fit on my screen anymore. Okay, let's do mobile development then. Let's do it later. We first need to go here. A very important aspect that I basically wrote on Twitter, which is basically software engineering is not programming languages. It's very, very, very important to understand. And basically everybody does not understand this, especially if you're younger. Why? I need to think about this before I say something, to be honest, not gonna lie. So I have this banking system example I'm gonna explain. But the thing is that programming itself, right? If you take it at the biggest scope, programming or software engineering itself, or engineering, it's like it is a very, you can make it large and you can make it as small as you want, the topic. You can actually program something which sticks in a pile of shit if you want, right? You can program CPUs in Minecraft, right? And look it up in Google. You can do that, right? So programming is actually just, in my opinion, programming it's all in your brain. You know what I mean? It's your imagination. It's your creativity. But people don't understand that, and what they do is they focus on, they think that programming, which actually is writing code, but programming is basically the interface between you as a human being, your brain, your logic, and the CPU, right? That's the only thing. That's the programming language. That's just a way of instructing your PC, instructing your CPU, telling it your brain, you're dumping your logic into that thing so it can solve your problem, or it can automate, or it can do whatever you want it to do. And you can do that with any programming language in the world, right? It doesn't really matter. Of course, there are some programming languages that are more suitable and whatever. That's another discussion. But think about a banking system, right? And I was thinking about that when I was cooking food, chicken. No, it was not chicken. It was ground beef, and with some vegetables and rice. How do you call that? Zilvervriesrijst. I don't know how you call it in English. Silver rice, special rice, whatever. So in a banking system, right? If you think about a banking system, you don't think about C++. A lot of people will think about C++. The first thing, if I would ask 100 engineers, like, hey, how would you build a banking system? The first thing they will come up is, yeah, I would write it in Rust because Rust is safe and it needs to be safe for the money transfer and yada yada yada, or C++. You know what I mean? That's what they go. Or no, you need to do it in OCaml because it's functional and Jane Street is using that for the trading systems. You know what I mean? That's the first thing all these motherfuckers are gonna say, and that's so bad. You know what I mean? It's like, why even? It doesn't really matter. If somebody would ask me the question, like, how would you design, how would you make a banking system? It's so much more that comes to that, right? I would have these logical blocks in my mind, like, okay, we have these users and we cannot miss, we need to do it in a transactional. We probably cannot make these transactions each time somebody transacts. We need to store that. We need to buffer these transactions and only do that at the end of the day. So to be 100% sure we don't lose any information, and it needs to have 100% uptime, and all these other things are coming into my mind that needs to have a check mark before you can even start thinking about which language are you gonna use. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I always think about the product I need to design, how it's gonna look in the end, instead of how I gonna structure my code base. And that's, believe it or not, is that way of thinking is gonna make a big difference between being a mediocre engineer that's gonna be fired. We're gonna talk about that very soon as well. Or an engineer that will actually never be fired unless you basically, I don't know, you can be fired of course, but you know what I mean, right? If you can basically, wait, COBOL and Clojure come to mind. Yeah, but COBOL and Clojure, guys, I cannot actually cover every single language, right? It's like, hey, COBOL, I mean, I think 50, even more, maybe 70% of the new developers, they don't even know what COBOL is. Reminds me of Salesforce Minecraft integration. Is that? Like I said, like Minecraft plays, I'm not gonna lie, but you see these crazy Minecraft engineering stuff, and these are amazing programmers. Actually, engineers, right? These kids, they are kids 12, 15 years old, and they make these CPUs and they make these automated shenanigans. Like, look at Google, man. Search that. It's like search it on YouTube. It's crazy that I think, what the hell is that? And even though they don't know how to write Golang or to write C++, they know how to program. And are they using a programming language? No. No, they use Minecraft. They use the building blocks in Minecraft, which could also be a language, but it's not really syntax, you know what I mean? And that's a very important mindset you need to have. These kids are way better than a lot of engineers, man. It's like, it's insane. If you give these kids, if you teach these kids, if you give these kids a Python language, they make the most amazing games. You know what I mean? They can do a lot of cool stuff, right? And they're not even yet 18. Give the boss news and you'll never get fired. Yeah, maybe. Hey Anthony, I've been coding in Go for a couple years and now I had a big break from all type programming. I tried to start again by learning other languages, but no fun. How should I start Go again? Does that make Minecraft Turing complete? I'm not gonna lie, I don't actually really understand what Turing complete is. You see, like, hey, I'm 38, like, making 7 figures, and I don't even know what Turing complete is. I need to Google that, to be honest, or you can actually say it to me. I heard this term so many times that I actually have no clue what it means. You see, there's a big difference. Yeah, so basically, that's the thing. We're gonna build this up. I'm always building these things up. Fundamentals, very important. Why? People are missing the fundamentals. You're missing the fundamentals. Whatever, right? You cannot start programming and start coding in Rust, because a language is anti-fundamentals, right? Rust is a programming language that is basically anti-pattern for the programming fundamentals. Yeah, but it's safe. Yeah, of course. But if the guy that's going to program in Rust does not even know what safe code is, you know what I mean? He does not even know why it needs to be safe. He does not know, right? Scotty doesn't fucking know. The fundamentals, very important. What are the fundamentals? If this then that. The Minecraft example, right? If I place a piston here and the mine cart is driving over it, then my fucking cucumber farm is going to break, and then the water slide is going to grab these cactuses that I just automatically cut with a stomper or whatever this thing is into a hopper flopper, and it's going to drive to this other thing, and then some redstone is it's like, what the hell? This is crazy, man. These are fucking Einsteins. If this, then that. The same thing. Var, const, for. That's the thing. But you're already going to start with these crazy syntaxes. You're going to be lost in salvation. Oh, camel. The same thing. Elixir. The same thing. All these things. Don't do that. Start with the fucking fundamentals. Right? The same thing is here, right? So that's the last boring example here. The no-code kits, right? There are so many of these entrepreneurs that are using no-code to build their stuff. And although they cannot write a single programming language, they cannot write HTML, maybe a little bit, but they have no clue about variables and for loops and Kafka and all that stuff. But they build businesses based on no-code, right? They do some stuff with Excel, and then they use Zapier, and if that happens, then it's going to put that email address into my mailing list, and then it's going to send them mail, and then this is going to be in my CRM, and I'm going to send them an Excel, whatever. They make a shit ton of money with no code. Right? Do they write programming language? No, but they know they know it's the same thing. It's like the banking system. They know what they want, right? They know the product they want to build, and they're going to create that with the building blocks they have, just like in Minecraft. And people are going to watch this stream and they're gonna say, what the hell is this guy talking about? But this is the basics. If you do not grasp the first 28 minutes of this stream, you're never gonna make it as a software engineer. You're gonna be here at the mid-level, and you're never gonna scale out. Never ever in your life. Mediocre. And that's fine, right? We need mediocre people. I already made a story, right? With the people that carrying the bottles, for the people that are basically pulling the pharaoh in the desert. You know what I mean? Very important to have these bottle carriers. Anyway, so that's that, no code. But at scale it works different, right? If you write code at scale, at a certain point of time, you're gonna have that banking system, right? That banking system needs to be built at scale. So there need to be some kind of engineers that really know the language very well. How they can optimize that, you know what I mean? How they can optimize for speed and optimize for uptime, and then you have these yeah, you know what I mean? Like this very important stuff, you know. But this does not happen at day one, you know what I mean? This at scale thing is completely different. It happens at a completely different stage, you know. What is going on here? Which language is fundamentally friendly? You think Rust overtakes? Rust is not going to overtake anything. My prediction is Rust is gonna only go down, in my opinion. The banking worked in that domain for 5 years. It's all Java Spring. Yes, right. Banking, microservices, Java, Scala. That's what's happening there. And what you see, of course, banking systems will never basically migrate. But some companies are migrating a lot of Java code. Some companies are migrating a lot of C# code into Go. Right? That's what happened with a company that I worked for a while ago. Why is Rust going to go down? Because Rust is a problem. Because the language doesn't... because I already told you this. This is basically the amount of people that are in... amount of people in tech. Right? What's going on here? This is the amount of people that are in tech. And then you have this is the amount of people. This is going to be the amount of people that really understand and can write Rust. Here. That's that. Right? So if you're a company and you need to hire people, it's going to be very, very hard to find good Rust engineers. Right? So if you need to pick between Rust engineers, which are basically Java engineers, for example, there's a big bunch of Java engineers, very well proficient Java engineers. You have a bigger pool to fish from, right? Java is also a fundamental, in my opinion, a fundamental safe language, right? In my opinion, Java is one of the most used languages still of today in tech. I swear to God, Java is big. C# even and the same thing, right? So all these companies are going to keep C++. They're going to keep Java. They're going to keep C#. Why? Because they can easily find these people, right? Rust, it's not. Rust is the language of the tech influencer space, right? That's what Rust happens. Rust is getting used to build these tooling from time to time in the JS ecosystem, but that's it, right? There is no decent company that actually really adopting Rust. Even, for example, they say, yeah, but Linux is yeah, but did you already listen to talk about Linus Torvalds himself talking about this Rust thingy? I don't think so. They're probably gonna get dissed as well. You're gonna see that. Java is big. I already told you that, right? Java is big. But what we see in the space is that new companies or companies with a way modern approach, they adopt Go. Why are they adopting Go? Because Go is the simplest language on the planet, right? Why? Because these are the people that can write Rust, right? But everybody can write Go. You know? That's the thing. No GVM, single binary, backed by Google. The whole infrastructure is using Golang, Kubernetes, Docker, everything is Golang. Everything. What you use today is probably Golang, right? There's nothing else. It's not Rust. It's not Zig. It's Golang. It's not. That's what it is. We need to be honest. I saw a post somewhere. It's Golang. Does it mean that you need to learn Golang? That's not that because I'm using Golang does not. I write in every single language, right? And that's also why I made this total coder, right? We build in every single thing, right? I'm doing Svelte kits front ends hooking up with Go backends. I'm probably gonna make PHP things. I just want to learn people how to build stuff. You know what I mean? Not a specific language. That's what I'm learning there. All right. That's basically the question from the Rust. Okay, cool. So now let's go here, right? Let's go here. First thing we're gonna do, guys, is actually make. Actually, why do I don't have this? My alerts box is not ringing. That's a little bit of a problem. MaxiFrog, thanks for the follow. Hey, it's Nolly. That's nice. Nolly Kickflip. Thanks for the follow. Aldrich, Devour of Butts. thanks for the follow. Norpix, thanks for the follow. Whiskit Wizard, thanks for the follow. Nono Patapoof. Patapoof, that's actually very nice. I always say that as well. Patapoof. In Belgium, that means get a clap on your cheeks. That's a patapoof. That's that. Linus, as in Linus TechTips. No. How does this called? Torvalds. How does his name actually? Is it not? It's not Niels Torvalds, man. How is it called? Creator Linux. It's Linus, right? You see Linus, this guy. I thought it was Linus. You know what I mean? You guys were basically doubting me. It was Linus Benedict Torvalds. The same. Wait, what is his net worth? Okay, the Linux net worth. That's maybe also something we can talk about. It's now 150 million. That's crazy. 150 million for the boy. He gets money from companies paying him for technical support from, yeah, of course, that's what I'm thinking. Continue on money. This guy is smart, but this approach ethical. I think open source for the broke, but it is what it is. Let's continue here. So, like mobile development, very important actually. Mobile. Let's do that. And then we're actually going to talk about how do you learn a language, right? That's going to be the most important thing. How do you learn actually that stuff? Where are you right now? Where do you want to go? And how are you going to do that? I will show you. I will show you the way. Mobile. What do we have in mobile? Well, how do I know all this stuff? Crazy, innit? We have basically Kotlin. Kotlin for Android. We have the Swift. Swifty Swifters. And then we have, of course, JavaScript. Yeah. JavaScript. If you're very smart, guys, people complain about JavaScript. But in my opinion, I think it's the king of programming, man. I think JavaScript is the king. Dart, but yeah, Dart. But Dart is, yeah, no, not Dart. That thing stinks. Nobody uses that, man. That's all its mouth. How many people use Dart? This is a very old thing, man. Dart. Programming language. Man. You also have this other thing. How is it called? Flutter. Thought some guys would... Oh, it's Flutter. Is that Dart? I didn't know that. Okay, then. Wait, Flutter. I don't know what it is. Fluttero. Build apps for any screen. I like that. I would just use React Native, I'm gonna lie. For the Timmies like me. I like this. Look at that. So from time to time what I do, because I'm a businessman and a marketeer, so from time to time I see these, I'm scrolling these websites, right? And then I see these beautiful, I like this website. And I specifically look for colors, right? And then I scroll and I scroll and then I see this, man. Look at it, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna make a print screen because it's for my mood board from time to time. Look at that. See how Google, I like this so much. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna paste that into my private Discord channel so I can see that later on and copy paste that for one of my own projects. You know what I mean? Flutter is powered by Dart. Okay, guys. Okay, cool. I rest my case. Where is my Excalibur? We're gonna do the English. Doesn't really matter because we're not gonna talk about this language, but hey. I don't wanna offend you guys, the Flutter devs, because I think why not? I heard a lot of good things by Flutter. You know? Maybe we should do something. Maybe I should do something with mobile as well. I was thinking about that because I think I was watching these podcasts and so many people are on mobile these days. So everybody's on mobile. So I think the next thing that I'm going to build is going to be some mobile application. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Mobile. I don't like to, yeah, but still, it needs to be. I don't like to be mobile. In mobile, React Native, I don't know, I have a trauma. I have a trauma with React Native and Expo. Not quite sure why, but that thing always broke back in the day. I was trying to make a crypto wallet so many years ago. in React Native, and that thing, it worked pretty fine. And when I woke up, it stopped working. I don't know why. And then I fixed some stuff, and then it broke again. It was so fucking... React Native with Expo is what I do. Beautiful experience compared to... Oh, yeah, well, this I was talking about. Drunk beers. This Expo trauma came from maybe 6 years ago, right? I think it's gonna be... I heard again a lot of good experience lately. So that's what I would do. If I would make a mobile app, I would do it in React Native. Because Kotlin, I have no clue how to write that thing. Swift, I have no clue how to write that thing. JavaScript, that's basically what I'm gonna use because I know how it works, right? And Flutter, that's Dart, and that's something you play with your homies in the bar. Xamarin, no, but I know that I know somebody used Xamarin for a mobile application, something like that. It's like a framework or something, and it looked huge. BMW is losing Flutter. Is that? Oh my god! I hope not in my UI. They have a good UI on my. They have a good infotainment system. I'm not gonna lie, better than Mercedes because it's still broken. The infotainment system on my Mercedes is still broken. And I'm waiting for 2 months for a new module. It's still not repaired. I don't understand that. Explain me that. But hey, this is what it is. Luxury problems you most likely not gonna have. You know what I mean? Unless you listen to me, join the Total Coder, subscribe to my channel, make my grandma proud, jump into my Discord community, or like me on YouTube. And recommend me to all your friends. And maybe. I told you go to Lokeren. Man, listen, hey. It's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, whatever, guys, and I'm gonna show you some cool stuff. So, wherever you are in your career, if you want to learn a new language, you never learn the language. Then yeah, the best tip I'm gonna give you is the shortcut, the biggest shortcut to success. Believe me. Believe me, I'm gonna show you everything. If you don't believe me that I'm a multi, how do you say that? Like a caterpillar. Wait. Let me quickly do something. Doesn't put angles. Centipede. I'm the centipede of programming, you know what I mean? Actually, I'm just a centipede in general, you know what I mean? Look at that, I made this, I copied this, copy-pasted this. I copy-pasted this. That's what I do. Let me do it here. Maybe here, actually. If you want to learn a language, you never learn the language. But Anthony, how can we learn a language if you never learn the language? How is it even possible? Listen to me, Timmy. Where is my... Listen to me very carefully. You never learn the language. You learn the product. Result. The thing. When I started programming, I was 16. And the only thing I wanted was a clan website. That's the only thing that I wanted. A Counter-Strike website for my clan. Did I learn HTML? No. Did I learn PHP? No. Did I learn CSS? Not at all. It was made in Dreamweaver. Does that thing even exist? Dreamweaver. That thing still exists, man. How is that even possible? How can that even sell? Dreamweaver. Look at that. I use Dreamweaver. I swear to God, man. Man, I swear, if there are companies having engineers in their team using Dreamweaver, the world is fucked. I swear to God. Man, that's wild. How do they do that, man? How do they sell that? So, no. Make yourself exceptionally good with Node instead of trying different languages. It's actually a very good thing. If you make yourself invincible in a company, you can be fired. And we're gonna talk about that, right? Why are you fired? Why is Google firing their Python team? And everybody's crying, oh, I'm fired, I'm laid off. Please, I worked at Twitch, sir, and I'm laid off. Please hire me. Why? You're fired. I'm gonna hire you. You suck. You know? But I have a family. I don't suck. You suck because if you do not suck, you're not fired. No company in the world is gonna fire somebody that makes money for the company. That would be the stupidest business decision ever. So if you make the company lose money, you're out. You know what I mean? So I'm so sorry, man. You have beautiful eyes and you're a good father and you're a good husband. I understand that. But you're not good enough, right? You're competing with all these other people in the company, and if they're better than you and you are on the list, you can print new copies of your resume. It's simple as that. And this sounds very harsh, but it's the true reality. You know what I mean? It's that, because if you can make a company make money, why would they fire you? Yeah, but they fired the whole Python team. Yeah, that's your own fault. Why? Because you're emotionally attached to Python. You know what I mean? You cannot write the front end. Is front end important? Yeah, probably not, because you're a backend engineer. No, you are a systems low-level engineer. Yeah, but you're broke now and you're fired. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I'm teaching people to be a total coder, which basically means you're the total package. You know what I mean? Even though if I would work at a company and they don't need a programmer at all, they're still not gonna fire me because I can do anything else, right? I can do sales. I can do a lot of other things. You know what I mean? Especially with ChatGPT on my side. Take that with a grain of salt. But you know what I want to say here, right? So if you were in the Python team at Google and you were a good engineer, but they don't need Python engineers, but they know that you are very good at leading the team. You were always on time. You were always putting fire in the team, helping the people. You were very verbal. You were solving things with customers. You were calling with customers. You were mailing with customers. You were solving stuff. You were also doing stuff in your free time for your job. You were helping the people at the DevOps with Golang already, or you were whatever. I don't know. You did something else. You were basically coding in Dart or in React, helping people with some front ends on the side because you like to do that. You was helping stuff. They're not gonna fire you. They're gonna say, bye, Python team, but you stay. Hey, Jimmy, come back. You stay. You can join the other team. You know what I mean? That's the difference, right? So don't complain. It's no problem that you're fired. Now you know. Now you can reassess and come back better than ever. You know what I mean? Very important in life. Full stack as a title is a little cringe. Well, that's actually true. I'm not gonna lie that. It's very important. I think it's the best skill you can ever have. But full stack title is a little bit of a cringe term. That's why I also do here. Let me show you. I'm such a good marketeer, not gonna lie. Look at that. That's why we're also gonna do. Where is this thing? I don't know. Resume and project reviews. Why? Because you make the mistake of putting these cringe terms on your resume. Right? You're a good engineer. Everything is fine. You're amazing. You're good. You watch the stream. You're good. The problem is you cannot come to the first conversation with Janine, the HR manager, because you put some weird stuff on your resume, right? It's the same thing. Look, guys, it's the same thing like Tinder, man. Dating. That's why you don't have a girlfriend. It's because you say things you cannot say to a girl, right? You don't send any picture. You only take the good pictures. You Photoshop your pictures if needed, right? You make things longer if needed, bigger if needed, smaller if needed, right? That's what you do. You don't say, hey, I have a body count of 513 girls. No, that's not what you do. Or you're gonna say like, hey, I put my friends above you. My BMW M3 competition is number one in my life. No, you don't say that. You know it's true, but you don't say that, right? You know what I mean? Because then they're not gonna swipe. They're not gonna say that on your profile. The same thing, and this is for all the girls that's watching, which is basically none. But if you're a girl, right, and you're watching the stream, never ever say dog mom on your Tinder profile. Don't do that. Dog mom is a red flag. You know what I mean? Dog mom is swipe to the left, right? Dog mom. We don't need dog moms, right? We don't want that, right? That's not what we want. But anyway, it's the same thing. If you want to date with a girl, it's the exact same thing if you want to land a job, right? You need to present yourself as best possible. Because the real work is getting done on the conversation with HR, on the conversation with some engineers or CTO or whatever. That's important, right? But you first need to get there. That's why I'm going to teach you that, because I'm a CTO myself, and I wriggled myself in every single... If somebody can fake it till you make it, then it's me. You know what I mean? So I can learn you all these scam tricks. Hey, I'm going to be honest. So you never learn the programming language, you learn the product or the thing. That's very important. If you want to learn Golang, if you want to learn Python, if you want to learn C++, Java, whatever thing, you never learn that language. I see people buying books, right? The book from Edward Thingy, this book from that guy. I never read that book in my whole life. It's the most popular book in Go, I think. And maybe somebody needs to bring it up here. Alex Edwards, Go, la 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 la. People buying that book and they're gonna read it. What the hell are you doing? You're wasting your time. You don't do that. I wanted to make a clan website. What did I learn? I learned how to make a clan website and nothing else. I didn't learn OOP in PHP and how I need to make an array or whatever. No, or HTML, how to center a div. No, I don't care. Or JavaScript. I learned exactly how can I make a clan website, and I was building that clan website and I was learning everything I needed to make that stuff, right? So you want to build this thing. I'm going to call this the thing, right? You want to build this thing in any language, doesn't really matter. So you're going to, okay, what's the first thing I need to do? All right, I need to have this. All right, cool. How do I do this? I don't know. Let's Google it up. Let's use ChatGPT. That's fine, right? Okay, now I know this. All right, what's the next building block? Okay, now I need to do this. How do I do that? I have no clue. So, boom, I still don't know about Go routines or something else, or PHP, what can you do with all this fancy stuff? I don't know what closures. I don't give a shit about performance. I don't care. I just build blocks, you know? Until I have the thing. You know, it's that simple. It's the same in Golang, right? And we're going to talk about all that stuff, how you need to do that. I built a AAA game. Look at that. The Lost Windjammer. I still crave to make that game, man. It's so good. It's so good. Shit. The Lost Windjammer game. Anthony. God damn it. The YouTube algorithm. Huh? Can somebody find this thing? It's on YouTube. I'm gonna... The Lost Windjammer. Here, look at that. My game is here. Here. Devlog 2. Boom. Look at that. This game is what I made in Unity. Right? This ship. Look at that. And I had a better one. This fucking ship, guys. Yeah, I made it myself in Blender. Can I have a better thing? Actually, the harpoon is even better, right? So, the whole world here, right? The whole world, all these you see these islands spawn. It's a procedural generated thing, right? So it's a never-ending world. It keeps spawning random stuff. I learned how to make that. Am I a game developer? No. Do I actually have a degree? No, I don't. Can I write decent sentences on a screen? No, I don't. Can I make decent sentences speaking to somebody, a human being? No, I don't. Do I look like an idiot? Yes, I do. But still, I make this happen. You know what I mean? Look at that. Of course, these trees are bought assets from the asset store. But this ship, I modeled myself. Am I a Blender pro? Am I a 3D artist? No, I didn't. But I still... Did I learn Blender? No, I didn't learn Blender. What did I do? I learned how to make a trimaran. You know what I mean? That's what I do. The only thing I did was build this trimaran. That's what they call it, the ship. That's what I do. Hey, I want these nets. How do I build nets in Blender? Enter. Boom. You see a video, you check the video, and you build that. Done. Next time you need a net, you know because you did it. That's how you do that. Right? I have also some cool things. Do I have more of these things? Look at that. This is me, right? Aha. Even this, I make creating a stylized art, a stylized thing. Look at that. That's me, man. I make this. I'm teaching people how to model this thing. Look at that. Look at this. Am I an artist? No, I ain't. But I can do these things. Why? Because I skip the noise. I'm not gonna buy a book. The Blender book for dummies. Are you fucking crazy? This is a book I need to read in 1 month. I made this game in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And you're still struggling with Go routines. How is it even possible? Just saying, right? That's how... Oh, 3 meters. What the hell are we seeing here? So if you think that I'm a special human being, then you're wrong. I am myth. I'm 100% sure that the people who are watching my stream right now are have an IQ higher than mine. The only thing you miss is some kind of... You missed some kind of a direction in your life. Right? That's the thing. Your life went basically like this. You just keep going, and my life went this. Boom, boom, boom. Clapped on the cheek. Bam, bam, some knees, you know? And then I go back up. So I have this, all this thing is experience here that I have, and you don't. Why? Because you're too afraid to take risks in your life. Because people say you can be independent, and you need to get your job, and you cannot do this, and you're too stupid for that. You know what I mean? They thought I was being a criminal. When I was younger, my parents and my family thought that I would end up in criminality, that I was going to jail. They might be right, but I'm not going to jail for I will go to jail for other stuff. Tax evasion or something like that. Because I have too much... No. Maybe too much speed with the BMW competition. Could be. Or maybe later with the Huracan. The Lamborghini Huracan or something. I don't know. Alright, that's how you learn. The same thing. And that's in every single thing, right? So how did I learn Go? Wait, so how did I... This is how I learned PHP. So how did I learn how to make... in this other startup, I was using Ruby on Rails. Academic Labs. I already showed you that. Here, boom. Startup I worked for. Also get some shares in here. Written in Ruby on Rails. I wrote this in Ruby on Rails, okay? So... Did I learn Ruby? No. Did I ever use Ruby? No. Where is my Excalibur? Rails. Ruby. Rails. Did I learn Ruby syntax? Did I bought a book? Did I... Whatever. A course on Udemy or something? No, because... It doesn't work. The only thing that works is how I teach is real-world projects, right? Full-time Go dev. HTMX thingy with Golang, Total Coder. These are real-world projects. There is a mini course because some people might want to have a small overview of the language. Very fast mini course, very simple thing. So you can get up to speed if you really want, right? I'm never gonna do that, but if you want, there is one here. But on the other side, it's real-world projects. And all these syntactic things and all these tips and tricks, they will come over time. You know what I mean? Back to Excalibur. The same thing here, right? I want to build this platform for academic people so they can yada yada yada. Well, the same thing, but different. Boom. Ruby on Rails. Golang. The same thing, right? Did I learn how to write Golang with going to this thing? How is it called? Golang Tour. I must be honest. I'm gonna be honest. This is actually very nice. This is actually very nice. What is this, man? Simplified Chinese. Maybe we can take this because it's simplified. So if you, yeah, look at that. Boom, boom. Go Tour could be nice to quickly experiment, but if you want to learn Golang, start building stuff. But everything, the only thing that's basically different. The same thing goes here, right? For C#, right? The game that I just showed you is written in C#. C# because it's Unity. Did I learn Unity? No, I just used Unity to build that game, and that's how I learned it. The same thing with C#. This language is the same as Java, actually, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, it's the same thing almost. It's not the same because people I'm gonna make people so mad, but I don't see it as I see it as the same language. They do the same thing, I think. Function blah blah blah, class blah blah blah, game dot blah blah blah, user dot health, player dot attack. They do the same thing, you know. Vector 3, new vector 3, dot normalize, dot length. They do the same thing, but different. Alright, let me see real quick some chatting. Shimmy the Deaf, I like your name by the way. I'm working on an API with Go and MongoDB. Wait, what's going on here? I need to click this thing. Oh, here. I'm working on an API with MongoDB. I keep getting advices to switch to Postgres. Is it really that much of a difference? I will be hosting it on a VPS with Docker, or should I respond to the advice with a polite middle finger? Well, depends, because MongoDB and Postgres has nothing to do with learning stuff. It has to do with Postgres is being relational, and MongoDB is being document. How do you call that? Non-relational database, right? It's different how they structure stuff. And they both have their how do you say that? They both have their pros and their cons. Depends on what you're gonna store, in my opinion. Depends on what you are going to store. If you're going to have users and accounts and this and that and status here and blah blah blah, then I would use Postgres for sure. But if your data is very simple, no SQL, that's what it is. Thanks, guys. I'm so sorry. Look at that. Giving you guys advice, cannot even say the word. Is that amazing? Yeah, but they wrote that in C++. Minecraft is originally in Java. But they ported that to C++ for Windows. Yeah, at a certain point of time, why not, right? So your advice on Postgres versus MongoDB? I would take Postgres for everything, man. I swear to God. Right now, I pick Postgres for everything, for legit everything, because I can store JSON stuff in that. I can query JSON stuff in that. It has full text support. Postgres is just is so good. It's so good, man. I even use Postgres to store blobs of data. Like use Postgres for that. I use Postgres for everything. Legit. I use Postgres as big data as well. Yeah, it's what it is. But of course, at a certain point of time, Postgres will have its problems. I understand that, right? I understand that. 100% that it's going to have some problems. But for now, I'm using that for basically everything. Things you do not need to learn is this. Well. Huh. Well, I need to be careful. So basically for the front end, like I see people, I already told the story about a friend of mine that was willing to become a software engineer, and he bought some kind of a course, but like it's a course that he bought from the government. Well, it's not from the government in Belgium. It's like an institutional thingy, and they give him like a big map with a complete semester, like kind of a school kind of thing. And they were learning him HTML, like a big shit of HTML, and then it was CSS, and then it was making these forms, a little bit of JavaScript, and he already quit. Why? Because it takes him 1 year to learn HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. I mean, that's not gonna work, right? That's not gonna end. That's not gonna age well. So I would never learn HTML and CSS. That's like I said, I would learn how to build a website. The same thing as well. So I have this Astro thing, right? Look at that, CD the total coder. I built this in Astro and never used Astro in my life. I never used Astro in my fucking life. Never ever. I don't know how it works. I did not look up the documentation. I just make a fucking website in Astro and call it a day. You know what I mean? And by the end of the day, if I do npm run dev, right, and I click this thing, I'm gonna have my total code site running. You know what I mean? It's like that, right? It's simple. I mean, people ask me how is Astro, and I was like, I don't know, man. I have no clue. You know, they have this syntax. I don't even think about that, right? You need to do these three things. Why? I have no clue. I just take it as it is, right? Hey, why is that? Because it is like that, right? Don't question mark this. Then they have this picture thing to make pictures. No fucking clue. Width, sizes, loading, format. I have no clue what that does. I don't man programming. Look at that. Strong man programming. Actually, that's not true, because it's this thing here. It's this guy here. It's not a strong man. But anyway, so you don't learn that stuff. You just build. And at a certain point of time, I maybe need to make a function, and I'm gonna probably do something like this: function send email. I don't even know, something like that. And then, hey, the syntax is not correct. What's going on? Oh, wait, I have a brain. Maybe these 3 dots, dashes here, maybe that's where the code needs to be. Wait, let me try this. Look at that, it works. Haha. You see, it's that simple. You don't need to, you just think with your brain, right? Well, that's how it goes, right? That's the same thing for new people learning how, that want to learn how to code. The ecosystem is so big. There are so many tools. You never learn a language anymore. You just learn some kind of a framework, and you just go with that, right? It's the same with, for example, with React. I don't know, how do you install React? The same thing happens, right? So for me, it's the same thing than for you. If you have no clue how Next.js and JavaScript works, well, it's easy, right? Like how to install React, right? Installation. You read this thing. Hello world. I mean, that's exactly how you would learn. That's exactly how a newbie would learn that, right? The quick start, maybe. Look at that. Can you wait? Next.js is what we need. Next.js install, not React. Boom. Right, okay. We recommend starting a new Next.js. You copy paste it. I don't know how Next actually, well, I wrote a lot of stuff in that, so it's fine. But I mean, you just paste that in. Yes. My app. No. How do we do that? Boom. That's fine. I don't know what I'm doing. Press yes, yes, yes. But you don't learn JavaScript. You don't learn HTML. I don't know how to use CSS, right? I'm using Tailwind, and I'm just looking, copy pasting stuff from people. And after 10, 20 projects, I'm gonna know exactly what's going on, right? The same thing. And I'm gonna ask you the question real quick here, because before you say, look at that. That's what I've built in 1.5 years in my spare time. What did you build? Blockchain from scratch, and it's all on YouTube. Crypto exchange from completely working. Crypto exchange, decentralized poker engine, distributed file system, a cache, a Hollywood actor framework, a Raptor, the WASM runtime engine that could actually deploy, run Golang code and JS code with an embedded Spider Monkey WASM runtime, all working, distributed over actors. I made fanmade.ai. I made it completely myself with some help from somebody for the models. I did the front end myself, everything myself. Am I a front end engineer? Hell no. You know what I mean? That's what I built. We have Sendit, remember the Sendit stuff? Tick Trader, the Redis thingy, and many more projects, many more in 1 year and a half. What did you build in 1 year and a half? That's a question, right? So if you're stuck at learning stuff, well, stop reading fucking books. Stop being on Twitter. Stop being on the wrong Twitch channels. Stop being on the wrong YouTube channels. And start building stuff. Where is the best place to build stuff? Right here. Right now. But this is no lie, right? All these things is all made online, live even, right? It's all live. It's everywhere. I cannot make money. Man, I made this fan-made stuff in 3 weeks. And I'm not even a front-end engineer. Even in Golang. If I could make it in PHP, I would make it in 1 week. But I was, yeah. So guys, before you say that my way of learning is bad, before you say that you cannot make it, you need to basically reflect on your life and see how many hours did you have invested in programming, right? And if you start with the fundamental websites, with the fundamental languages, JavaScript, Python, Ruby, PHP, if you learn one of these stuff, and I would definitely go for JavaScript all the time, because JavaScript is your free ticket to everywhere, right? You can write it in the front end, you can write it in the back end, you can write games in JavaScript, you can mobile, React Native, you know what I mean? JavaScript is everywhere, you know what I mean? The same thing happens with Golang and Python. Python is everywhere. Cloud microservices. Python is in games as well. DevOps. Machine learning. Python is everywhere. Golang is also Golang, DevOps, microservices, web dev, these APIs, you know. The same thing happens, like people are learning Golang, but they are building these CLI applications. I mean, what the fuck are you doing? Stop making CLI applications. The CLI applications is for the biggest noobs on the fucking planet. You don't do that. It's not why would you even do that? If you want to learn Golang, you learn how to build APIs, because that's why the language is most used in web dev, right? APIs, small services, an API, and you learn how to hook that API, for example, on some kind of on a Kafka queue, on a Nats queue. You learn how to use that's actually it. It goes so simple, like pure APIs. You learn how to secure them. You learn some OAuth stuff with. You learn how to build beautiful documented APIs, how to good authentic, all that stuff. That's cool. That's why you need to learn Golang for, right? Don't build CLI applications. Don't do that, you know. Keep it simple, APIs, and learn the web as an entry in Golang is nice. And after that, you can scale. You can scale to distributed systems. You can scale to stuff like these distributed databases, caches, stuff like Caddy and traffic, how that is being built, all that stuff. But you first need to keep it simple. Keep spitting. Did you guys see that I'm spitting? That's the question. Because I'm actually spitting. You know what I mean? I'm legit spitting here, right? I'm spitting words, but I'm also spitting on my microphone. If we see this landscape, guys, we already know how we need to learn this stuff, right? We don't learn the language. We don't read a book. This is my opinion, right? Like I said, I'm not you and you're not me. Just saying. Learn how to build a project and build a lot, and then you're gonna be. It's that easy. It's that easy. This is the landscape. What do we not see here? Rust. Zig. It's all a waste of time. I know it's hipster. I know influencers are using that. I would basically do not do that unless you are already experienced, you're a senior engineer, you know everything, you're good, and you want to do that in your free time. Why not? Not a waste of time to learn these things, right? Not a waste of time. But most of you aren't already at that level. You're still young. You don't have not experience enough because you're asking me questions. Okay, how to authenticate the user? How to if you ask me that question and then you're gonna learn Rust, you're already cooked, guy. You're already cooked, smoked. Cloud, yeah. So cloud Microsoft is the same thing, kind of, right? What about Rust? Forget about Rust, guys. This is the biggest bet I'm gonna make. And this in 10 years, nobody's gonna talk about Rust. There are use cases where CLI tools in Golang are very useful. Yes, but you're not. I'm talking about, what I'm talking about right now is for the people, is for the professional landscape, right? The professional landscape. Hey, I'm an engineer. My name is Matthias. I am 22 years old. I come from uni. I know C++. I know some Java, right? I know a little bit of HTML on the side. And I want to actually progress my career. What should I do? Oh, I'm gonna learn Golang. Nice. What should I do there? So my chances of being adopted in the job market, which is overflooded by people sending resumes every single day, times 10. How do I increase my chance? Not by building CLI tools, right? You increase your chance by learning to build products that are actually used in the space, right? Why Golang is used for, why they hire Golang engineers for these most of the time for these services, APIs. That's what you're gonna do most of the time. How do you learn Docker? I don't know nothing about Docker. The only thing I know in Docker is I can containerize my Golang application, how I can use it. For example, to boot up, is it running? Probably not. Yeah, because my thing is not on my Docker whatever desktop. The only thing I know about Docker is how to run a Postgres instance or something or whatever, or a Docker Compose to bootstrap some stuff. That's it. That's the only thing I need. Right? But you guys are doing it wrong. You're Docker and Kubernetes and Docker and all this complex stuff and all this and automation and this rabbit hole, and you're wriggling around and into this rabbit hole of what you can do with Docker. I know you can do a lot of stuff, but do you need that? Nobody's going to ask you this. Do you know Docker on your resume? Yes, I know. Yeah, simple as that. It seems like the roadmap to becoming an indie hacker. No, of course not. This is not the roadmap of becoming an indie hacker. This is the roadmap. So you know what you need to learn for what you and how you need to learn these things. Because I see people learning Golang and they did not even know the basics of the web. You know what I mean? No, you first learn the basics of the web. JavaScript, PHP, a simple web application, HTTP, what is an API, what is REST, right? How do I insert the user into a database? Why is this? Why is that? What is GitHub? What is deploying? What is continuous integration? What is a fucking CLI? What is a terminal? What is a Timmy? How I use Bash. Slightly coming into the scene. But no, they don't know anything and they're gonna start building microservices in Golang. What the hell? I mean, of course you're gonna fail because you don't have fundamentals, you know? I cannot find a job because I'm a junior engineer learning Rust. Yeah, of course not. You're a junior engineer. They never, ever in the planet Earth, they're gonna hire a 22, 24, 25-year-old Rust engineer. Never, ever gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It ain't. They're never gonna hire somebody like that coming from school. No way. It sounds a little bit crazy, but these languages have some kind of an age. It is, man. Unless the most now, but like the new languages, I don't think any company is going to hire some kind of a Rust engineer that's just coming from school. That would be crazy. Who is going to do that? Spend your time on these and you're done. And maybe spin up a database. Docker and other containers just help with packaging and bundling up software. You don't need until you're ready to deploy software to others. You don't need it from day one. Start by building the product, like Anthony says. Yes. So Anthony, you never read like TCP documentation? Of course not. Why would I do that? Why would I don't know I don't know anything about TCP. I don't know I don't know how it all works underlying. Do I need to know that? I mean, I built the craziest stuff in TCP. I'm breeding TCP. I am TCP. TC me. I used net listen TCP so many times. It's insane. I wrote net.listen TCP in Golang more than my own name. And still I do not know anything about TCP documentation. Why? Because it's not needed. And that's the reason why I know all this stuff. That's the reason why I can. And I can sell. And I can market. And I make everything myself. And I don't need... I can do anything. Because I filter in my life what I need to filter. And I only absorb what I need to absorb. At the point that I need it. You know what I mean? Is you become an expert at the topic the moment you need to become one. I won 50,000 euros in one day because I made a consensus algorithm in Golang. Well, I copied a consensus algorithm in Golang. Like I said, I'm a mid person. I don't know anything about consensus algorithms. Well, now I know. At the time, I didn't know. But I was smart enough to find the puzzle pieces that I need to build that. And I won. I already showed you this. There's an article on the internet about that. Hey, this one. Believe it or not, 6 years ago. This is beautiful code. You need to check that. This is actually muy bien. This code is so beautiful. So beautiful. It's actually so fucking beautiful. It's insane. I was so good. Documented everything. It all worked. Just these two things. But it all worked. References. Other language implementations where I ripped it all from. Right? Basically copied this guy's code. Actually, this guy is the guy it's this one, Andreas Fackler. I basically searched him on LinkedIn and I was asking him questions. You see, that's the person I am. That's why I am the person I am today, and you should be too. I needed to build this thing. I have no clue what the fucking bazillion, how is it even called? Let us go back. Bazillion fault tolerance and threshold encryption and shared secret. I did not know this, guys. I've never heard of that before. But I saw this somewhere on the internet. Then I saw this guy. I pinged him on LinkedIn and I was chatting with him and he was explaining me this. He learned me how to build that and I never gave him money. I took all the money for myself because I am who I am. But it just explained me some stuff, right? I did not know why I'm doing that. But you know what I mean? It's like you find the pieces you need to build stuff. Instead of being so emotionally attached at all your syntax and how things work and TCP behind the scenes and pointers, and I see people on Reddit continuously trying to prove me wrong and trying to be smarter, come up smarter than me, which they probably are, but why are you spending so much time like, oh no, memory is this and you're not right about that because a pointer is not this, because yada yada, and the Golang scheduler is actually doing that behind the scenes. Did you not know that? I don't fucking care. You know what I mean? I just know enough. That's the secret of learning stuff very quickly. And believe it or not, at the end of the time, if you build this, if you do that all your life, at a certain point, you know all that stuff, right? Because you come across all these topics, at a certain point of time, you learn so much. You know? Hey. Yeah. People are more focused on a tool rather than a thing. I keep saying this, man. I would give him just a cut of the money, yeah, but it's like, man. Andreas knows some. He was very good at Rust. I'm gonna lie. He was a very good Rust. He was very good. I also have the same thing, and I also have some stuff in Rust written, right? Because then I was into these algorithms, and then I saw another algorithm, and I said, hey, maybe I need to explore that a little bit. It's the avalanche thing, right? Look at that. It's my best Rust I ever wrote, to be honest. It's even, I don't know what's going on here. You see, I wrote Rust, and I did not use any reactor thingy. It was just like spawning threads, which is so bad. I was just spawning threads instead of using Tokyo async thing, because I did not know what I'm doing here. Like, what is this thread RNG? I had no clue. I just saw that somewhere that I needed to do that, or it doesn't work, and I just copy that, paste that in, and I just call it a day, right? Yeah, I mean, who can read this, man? I mean, look at that. Rust experience, arc, mutex, node, new, clone. Man, this language makes no sense at all. Here the same thing, receiver lock, unwrap, receiver, unwrap. It's like, that does not make any sense. Maybe I wrote bad code, could also be, but everywhere everywhere I look at Rust code, I see these things coming up, right? Like, get mut, unwrap, lock, unwrap, handle message, collect into a vec. I like this, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, that you can collect that into a certain thing. Like, Rust has very good stuff, I'm not gonna lie, but some things are basically just unbearable to people. Look at that. I mean, people are complaining about if add not nil, but then you have this. I mean, hey, hey, look at that. I'm sorry, but that's what I think about that. But it could be, I could have some skill issues in Rust, which probably is. Man, my eyes are hurting from the fucking light. The sun is shining in my eyes, boys. Anyway, that's the Rust experience, right? So you see that I do a lot of stuff, and then yada yada yada. Anyway, well, let's continue here. I feel like this can be refactored. Yeah, I think it can be refactored for sure. No, 100% agree that can be refactored. 100% agree that. 100% agree. It's also code written. I don't know, like, how many years is this, man? Like, you were not. I think most of you were not even born. You are still sucking your mother's teeth. Drinking milk. 6 years ago. You know what I mean? You're probably still at uni, jerking off in the toilets. You know what I mean? And by Tar, thanks. Mansoor, thanks for the gifted subs again. Anthony just reversed the whole thing to be a framework and not an engineer. Yeah, but if I see my Twitter, I'm gonna be completely honest here. Guys, what do you want to be? You can be an engineer and no frameworker, but you do not become an engineer. You first become a frameworker. Can somebody write that down? Because I think it's good quotes I'm gonna use. If you learn stuff, you first become a frameworker, and then if you want, you can become an engineer. When I started programming, I was not an engineer. Well, I was an engineer in my mind, not in code. And that's basically the reason why I'm very good at building stuff, because I'm very good at engineering in my mind without code. Like, okay, this, all these puzzle pieces, right? Like, I'm a gamer. I'm very good at Path of Exile. I'm very good at League of Legends. I didn't play for 2 years, and I can still basically win every single game on my own if I play some kind of a mid-champion. Because it's all about statistics. League of Legends is a skill game, but it's all about statistics, you know? People don't understand that. The same thing with Path of Exile. Maybe some of you will understand what I'm saying, but Path of Exile is the same thing. It's all about statistics, right? It's all about building your character, min-maxing, stats, resistances, multipliers. The same thing with coding. It's all about min-maxing your brain, and the language is just some fucking syntax nobody cares about. You know what I mean? PO is also about meta. So of course, there's also about meta, but I can still play an off-meta champion League of Legends and still clap your cheek because I know the game too good. So you first become a frameworker and then you become an engineer. So Anthony, if I'm mistaken, correct me please, but you have like uni degree, right? No, I don't. If so, do you think you were starting programming journey now, would choose you the degree or boot camps? I didn't have a degree, although one of the articles state that I have, because I won a very special prize, you know what I mean? And they could not... you need to understand that I worked... I don't have a degree. But there is an article that states that I am, because in the blockchain technology back in the day, it was basically very weird that people like me could do that stuff. And that could basically... put the coin into danger for the market, from a marketing perspective. That's actually the reason why. But if you backtrack my history and you see my school, which is at the Provincial Institute in Hamme, I went there to my 18 and as an how do you call that? Electromechanic, and call it a fucking day. Right? That's what that is. That's what I did. But if I would go back in my time, I would definitely go to university. 100%, because it gives you a very good base knowledge that I didn't have. Like I said here, is like... It seems weird. People are always saying, like, on Twitter, like, you need to be an engineer, not a frameworker. But by the end of the day, they don't make any money, right? They really are... But they maybe do not need to be. That's their decision. But if you want to become... If you want to have some legacy in your life, and you want to give your kids some money, and you want to have a good base for your kids and for your family and for your pension, and you want to have something, you want to build something you're proud of, and you want to use your skill as a programmer for that, being an engineer is going to make you broke. Because you have this guy, look it up on YouTube, he's like he wins all these Facebook hackathons, like like all these challenges, some of these Facebook hack challenges. He's the fastest one. But who is this guy? He's broke. But he's fucking smart. You know, he's smarter than the whole chat together. You know what I mean? But he's broke. Why? Because he's an engineer. He's focused on the language. He's focused on these academic problems and but he cannot... He doesn't... The world works differently. You know what I mean? The world works differently. What I want to say here, actually. Because if you come from the university thing, if you have a degree, you have such a good base, like memory, pointers. You have that base. Very important to have. Right? That little base you have. And you have all these connections already. Your network is very important as well. Right? Your network. You cannot find a job, but you don't know nobody. Right? You're sitting in your fucking basement playing League of Legends all the fucking time. Of course you're not going to get hired. Because you have no network. The only network you have is a bunch of feeders, a bunch of bronze players. That's the only network you have. I mean, what the hell? How are you gonna climb your rank to silver, which is basically even the mediocre level, if your network is basically a bunch of bronze players? You know, your network is your network. That's very true. A degree is always a plus. Trust me. Of course. Is school the best? Are they educating people the best way? I don't think so, but it's still beneficial. It's still beneficial because you don't need to do a shit thing. You can basically skip all your fucking classes and just only do the thing you need and still basically pass your exams because they're so easy. You're gonna learn other good skills. You're gonna have some network, and you have all your free time to learn to build a business at the same time. So you're gonna have a degree and you're gonna build a business. And you're gonna instantly get hired because you have a network. Sounds good to me, not gonna lie. And you can stay and you can fuck all these bitches. And go every weekend be fucking wasted. That's what college is, right? I wouldn't sign for that. And it's all fine. Whatever happens is good. Oh, leave him alone. He's at college. Let these kids be young. You know, you can do anything you want and you're gonna get away with that at that age. I would do that, man. 100%. So what you're saying, if you play alone in your basement, at least be a challenger? Yeah, I mean, it's true, right? You have these kids who are playing all the fucking time League of Legends and they still suck. How is that even possible? I mean, if you're playing 4 hours a day and you play the whole weekend and you're still not... What do we have? Emerald now? You have gold. If you're still not high gold, what the hell's going on? You're playing 4 hours a day. You should be a fucking pro. I mean, everything is there. There are guides. It's easy. Everything. Everybody knows what you need to do in League of Legends, right? It's all about the macro game. Right? It's never about. It's all about statistics. The more gold you have, the more gold your team have, the higher you're gonna win. The more objectives your team have, the higher you're gonna win. Are you gonna win all the time? Probably not. But if you always have the biggest farm, and you have the least amount of deaths, and your team has the most objectives, and your team has the most, the best morale, you're gonna boost up, right? And the best morale, if you do that all the time, every single game, right? Every single game, these check marks are vinked, you're gonna climb to at least master tier, 100% guaranteed. But you can't, because you're not consistent, just like in life. You're not consistent, right? You go to the gym 4 days in a week, and then you stop. Of course you're not gonna be jacked. The same in League of Legends, it's all about statistics. Do the same boring thing because it's going to be very, very, very boring. If you want to climb in League of Legends, it's going to be so boring that you're going to quit the game. It's so boring. You're going to do all these things and you're going to do it 100 times and you're going to climb for sure. But of course it's boring because you want to do some crazy outplays, you know what I mean? You want to do these Kai'Sa, Kalista, Z outplays, you know, like the Yasuo things, but no, keep it simple. Use a simple champ, the most boring champ in the planet. Use that, and you're gonna climb. It's gonna be boring. It's a blowout. It's a 5-player game. No, it's not. You don't understand that. Again, this is your problem. This is your problem in programming as well. Wrong mindset. It's all about statistics. The League of Legends is actually very simple, and you always have an edge. Why? Because you look at that. I'm gonna explain what's happening here. These are basically 5 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And you are. Can I select this dot here? I can't. This is the enemy team, right? So now we're gonna. This is you. This is you and the other team, right? This is red is your team, right? So you say, yeah, but League of Legends is basically a 5-player thing. So if my team sucks, I'm screwed. That's not true, because you have these guys here, which is the enemy team, right? And you cannot control these. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 uncontrollable players. In your team, you have only 4 uncontrollable players. So statistically speaking, if you do what you need to do, if you do exactly what if you do exactly what needs to be done to win a game, it's very simple. I'm gonna repeat it again. High farm, less deaths, objectives, morale. If you have these 4 check marks, these fundamentals, wave control, you know what I mean? Then you have 1 controllable player, and they have 0 controllable players. That basically means that you have an edge. And who is the edge? You are the edge. You know what I mean? So if you cannot climb, you suck. It's as simple as that. You suck. Once again, nobody wants to tell you that. I'm gonna do that. You're so bad. I can actually prove you that. I can prove you that it's so easy to climb a rank by just being boring. The same thing. If you want to make money in your life, boring stuff. If you want to be jacked, you're going to eat boring and you're going to train and do the same boring exercises every boring day. Simple as that. A good relationship. A long-lasting good relationship is also boring. Hey, life's boring. Life is boring game, man. League of Legends downloading. I got it, but 20-0 and your teammates are will do nothing. That's true, but that's all the it's all a, how do you say that, a single observation. It's a single observation, right? You cannot observe 2 or 3 League of Legends games. Like I said, League of Legends is a statistical game. You cannot, if people say it's skill, it's statistic. Of course, it's skill because you just need to do what you need to do. And at a higher level, there are going to be some skills because you're laning, a laning phase. And of course, at the lower ranks, it doesn't really matter. But at a higher rank, it matters because small impacts on priority on these laning phases, mitigating, for example, if you can deny a level for your opponent, that's big. Not in your ranks. Not in your ranks, but at higher level ranks, it's very important. If you can deny 1000 gold, it's GG well played. You know what I mean? It's all about statistics, about playing for a long time. You're gonna have a win rate, right? 51%, 52%, maybe 60% win rate. Then you're climbing, right? But if you have a losing win rate, you're and it's all these small things. All these champions, by the way, now we're gonna stop because a lot of people don't know what League of Legends is. All these champions, right? They're all balanced out. I mean, you need to look at the win rate of all champions. There are some websites, right? You can check, and you can see what the win rates are. And the moment a champion has a high win rate, for example, let's say Renekton or something at top is getting 60% win rate, or in general 58% win rate. It's actually too much already. If it's get 53, 54, 55% win rate, they're gonna nerf something. They're gonna nerf an item, or they're gonna nerf the champion. 100% sure. They're gonna always make the game balanced like that. And that's why that's life. It's arbitraging. Life is arbitrage, guys. Alright, let's go. It's a grind to start. Yada yada yada, 9 NPCs. So mental is everything. That's true. Are we doing goaling today? Everything is possible. Let's go. What's the difference between Dota and LoL? Nothing, just, I don't know. Nothing too much. Same concept. Wait, I have some good questions here that I need to pick up back. 2 years as a junior front-end developer with React. Now 3 months into backend with Go. I've read 5-6 recommendations book and feel I'm stuck in tutorial. Yeah, of course! Again, I'm gonna keep this chat here. So, Ong Min Mwat. Aung Mint Myat is telling that 2 years ago. No, he's working 2 years as a junior front-end developer with React. Makes a lot of sense. If you're a front-end developer, a junior one, you're probably gonna write some JavaScript. Makes a lot of sense. There is no way for you to be a junior developer and you're gonna be in Golang. That would be a little bit weird, in my opinion. Yet, depends on what is junior. 1 to 2 years. You're probably, if you are in tech for 2 years and you're already writing some Golang without having a fundamental good knowledge about the web in general, I don't think that's a good idea. But now 3 months into backend with Go, right? And he's reading 5 from the 6 recommended books. I'm telling you, my words are not even cold yet. Right? He's reading 5, he's read 5 from the 6 recommended books, and he feels like he's stuck in tutorial hell. Any way too familiar with backend in general. You're stuck in tutorial hell because books are not gonna help you. Udemy courses are not gonna help you. What's gonna help you is this. Boom. The total coder. But because why is this? There's no bullshit. It's because we're doing real life projects. And real life assessments. That's what we also do. Man, look at that. I'm not gonna lie. I need to do some marketing for it. This is no bullshit, man. I mean, look at this. Where is this assessment here? Look at that. This is the first one. This is a real thing, right? And I just make you solve that. And it could be in any language. I don't even care. This is Golang assignment. If you want to do this in Rust or whatever, in Python, go fucking ahead. Doesn't really matter. Right? But these are real from companies. It's so you know what's important to know as a backend engineer. Because these are assignments from companies we just yoinked. Right? How can you... A book is good for something else. There are books, listen very carefully. There are books on how to play guitar, How can you read a book on how to play guitar? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. The same thing, the book with how to paint. You cannot read how to paint. How do you learn how to play guitar? It's by playing guitar. Okay, you need to learn the chords, 100%, right? You need to learn what are the chords, how you need to pick your fingers, but it's all about practice. The same thing with painting. You cannot read how to paint. You can read about composition, you can read about color theory, 100% agree, but you cannot read on how do I need to paint. It's all muscle memory brain connection. It's creativity, it's patterns. How do I get these patterns? By drawing a lot of stuff. And over time, over the years, you're gonna build, a girl in that pose, that's gonna be this. It's gonna be muscle memory, right? You know what I mean? Listen to me, please. Stop reading books. A book is good for biographies, for quantum physics, if you want to learn some theories about stuff. How can you learn how to program, how to learn a language? What are they teaching you there? Build a fucking project on your editor. That's what you need to do. So you can get a direct feedback loop, because how are people learning? People learning like this. People learning like this. You try something and you're gonna fail. Boom, you fail. You're gonna back here and you try again. And you try again. How's this? Boom. And you fail again, right? But each time the circle is happening, you're gonna make some progress, right? Boom. And progress. I'm gonna make progress. I'm still so bad at I'm so bad. Anyway, you see, I'm making progress. It's this continuous thing, right? So it's a feedback loop. Each time you learn. Why is this so big? Let me do this again, right? So if you want to learn stuff, you're gonna do stuff and you're gonna fail here, right? You're gonna come back, you're gonna try again until it makes sense, and you're gonna make progression. You're gonna fail again. Back here, right? Back to the drawing board, back to the lab. Boom. The same thing. Boom, boom. Feedback loop, right? How can you this is time t, right? This is time t on the time scale. How fast can I learn? So if we know this, how fast can we learn? Well, we learn as fast as our own feedback loop, right? The more we fail, the faster our feedback is, the faster we can make progress. What does a book? A book is a slow feedback. A book is the slowest feedback you can ever have, right? Why? Because you need to read it. Depends on the book, right? Depends on the book. If the book allows you to, if the book says, okay, listen, this is what you're gonna build right now, close the book, you build it, and you come back to the book. That's something different. But most of these books is like all this theory and all that stuff and why and patterns and yada 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 without any practical examples that will basically force you into these feedback loops, because that's how we make progression, right? So in a book, you're basically gonna read for a couple of days, right? And then here you're gonna start making your feedback loop. You're gonna start implementing what you learned, but most of the stuff are gonna be forgotten, right? So you see, this guy already is implementing stuff in his editor. In my opinion, the best thing. But books are good for theories, right? Once you have some kind of a skill set in programming, you can learn it. You can read a book about some kind of patterns and why they occur and why they are useful. Not how to implement these patterns, but why. And the more theory behind decisions, people in the theory behind architectural design patterns and all that stuff, people have made over the years, and why. And maybe you can take what you want and leave behind what you don't want, but not as a beginner programmer. I would not recommend that. Anthony DG is a real deal. To me, it's goal-line interfaces that you want to master. The simple concept of interface is easy, but deep understanding of interfaces like Oh, Twitter. Okay, IO.writer and how to start writing elegant, powerful, decoupled software is a real deal. And Anthony GG does it naturally, which is I enjoy watching him code. Sometimes I think he codes more advanced than he even knows. I think I do, because I don't know. I think I'm doing normal stuff in Golang, but I use it for so many times, for so many years, and I also basically learned from other people. Right, all the things that I'm teaching in Go, it's not something that I invented. Right, all these patterns that I'm using, it's all things that I've seen over the years. Right. By reading other code bases and by copying stuff and yeah, but not by reading books. Not by reading books. I think reading code bases is even more beneficial. And if you really want to be good in Go, I would recommend the GitHub page of HashiCorp and read all their stuff, because they write very good Golang code. Very good. And this guy also writes very good Golang code, Peter Bergen. I don't know where the fuck he is. Where is he? He's disappeared. This guy just disappeared. This guy? Peter Bergen? Or Bourgon, whatever he's gonna pronounce his name. Peter? Where the fuck are you? I like this guy. He wrote so much good Go code, man. Peter Bergen, who knows him? Everybody's talking about all these fucking soy boys in Golang, but nobody's talking about Peter Bergen. This one. Did I block this guy? That would be... Wait a minute. Is that true? Does that mean that I blocked him? That would be... This would be that... This is... If that means that I blocked him or he blocked me, that this is going to be the biggest climax you're ever going to see on the stream. This is even more thriller than Freddy Krueger. Not gonna lie. What the hell is that? I swear to God, Peter Bergen, his code is very good, man. He writes this good stuff. Check it. He's the guy that wrote this one, Disk-V. Disk-V is a Golang classic. Very cool stuff. If you want to learn about caching and Disk-V is beautiful. Very simplistic, but very idiomatic Golang code. I learned so much from him as well. Peter Bergen. I think he has a startup and he stopped making himself public or something. I think he disappeared. So what happens if somebody disappears? If somebody disappears from Twitter, suddenly he's a fucking billionaire. At least a multi-millionaire. Not a millionaire, but a multi-millionaire. So maybe he is that. Maybe he made some bang, and now he's banging in Taiwanging. I always tell younger devs to look to the past. Brooks, Parnas, Allen Key, fundamental stuff. All the bonus is just details. I'm a grumpy old guy. No, Dario, I think you're a grumpy old guy, but your nickname is Dario Insane. How is that even possible? I mean, I think it is. I think programming fundamentals is the best thing you can ever have. I think we, Dario, as old school programmers 20 years ago, whatever, I think we learned how to program in a very healthy ecosystem where there is not too much noise, as in noise, not noise, nice, but noise. But right now it's very hard for people to learn how to program because it's an oversaturated maze and people don't know how to navigate. And that's why we do this, right? It's very simple. It's actually very simple for you. If you see this and you already know that JavaScript, web dev JavaScript is your way to go, right? Because it's the most... Why? If you think about it logically, what do they all have in common? They all have this guy in common here. JavaScript here. Java without the script here. JavaScript here. You can write this. It's everywhere. It's nowhere. It's also in backends, actually, we forgot that. Backend also JavaScript. Look at this. I really hate this program, I'm gonna lie. I hate this program. I use it so much, but I still... You see, I need to have a lot of hours in this thing. I have a lot of hours in this thing. Right. So you can see that they have the common denominator, which is JavaScript all over the place. And we know that web dev is the easy entry point to get a job. And it's easy to understand, and it's the most easiest way to enter the tech ecosystem. Then JavaScript is a no-brainer to learn, right? Very fundamental language. Good kickstart. JavaScript is your friend. Everybody is hating on JavaScript. I don't think so. I think I love JavaScript. It all went south. It never went south, guys. It's all what people say on Twitter, man. Still not... That's why I don't hear this guy. It's because I blocked him, man. Or he blocked me. Somebody's blocking somebody, I think. That's actually... that's weird. Because we could be friends. We could be good friends. I'm gonna play Yasuo now. Thanks, Anthony. Yasuo. You need to play Yone, man. Yone is easy. Yasuo is hard. Play alone on stream. I was thinking about that from time to time, but it's like 3 people are gonna watch that. So, do you have any tips finding use cases to work on personal project? I struggle with that for my entire career. You just need to. How can you make a project? Listen, how can you be motivated to make a project if you're 1, not interested in the project, and 2, the project is not making you any money? How can you be interested? Of course, not going to be interested, right? Because it's making a project. It's always the same thing, right? Making a project happens like this. You suddenly get an idea. How do you write idea? Idea, something like that. Aha! I have a good idea. You're stoked, right? You're stoked to make that. You're hyped. It's weekend. You have no. You're so fucking psyched. You want to start your idea right now. So you open up your editor and you start the project. And this is basically what's gonna happen. Motivation, motivation, motivation. And at a certain point of time, you're gonna encounter some trouble, some hiccups, and it's going to be lower. And you're struggling, right? The problem, you're struggling, right? Because the easy part, project structure here, right? Project structure. Make file, readme, you're already doing all that stuff, right? Continuous integration, Docker files, probably already have a VPN, or you probably also have a website made. Dopamine, oh yeah, woo! Yes, man, it's gonna be insane. We're gonna make this Rust project or this JavaScript project or this whatever, and it's crazy. And at a certain point of time, the actual coding starts, and you realize you're a noob. You realize you're not an engineer. You have no clue how to solve it, and you're struggling. ChatGPT, Google, Stack Overflow, Twitter, getting clapped on the cheeks, nose is bleeding, black eye, you know what I mean? 1 teeth is missing. That's what's happening here, right? This is all what's happening. And then boom, and then we come here. This is the special point. This is it. How do we call that? This is it point. This is it. This is it. I had enough. And what is this? This is it point? It's the point you realize nobody is going to use your project anyway. So why would you even continue? That's how you convince yourself. Nobody's going to use this project, man. What am I doing? I'm wasting my time. Back to League of Legends. You know what I mean? Back to League of Legends. LOL client. Boom. Boot this thing up. That's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Look at that. Installing a patch. Look at this. Boom. Wapake. That's what's going to happen. That's how it goes. You know? So that's how it goes. This is it point. I had enough. Nobody's going to use my project. Of course, we're not going to play League of Legends because we are a millionaire. We don't do that anymore. So, yeah, it's basically it. Look at that. Some people say here, this is the rewrite and Rust point. That's true, right? This is where, oh, nah. Let's go. This is where you find your dopamine back to your other project, right? Because that's where you basically going to start back into JavaScript or to something you're used to, or PHP or whatever. It doesn't really matter. All the languages are great. And it's going to feel natural again. It's going to feel natural again. And out of these back into that comfort zone. You know what I mean? It's gonna be lekker. That's gonna be it. Thanks for that Prime subscription, Clack TC. Peter got a private account, not blocked by you. It's so weird because Peter's such a nice guy, man. I learned so much from him, but I really, yeah. It's basically the guy that made GoKit, right? The guy of GoKit, the microservices thingy. But I don't know what happened. I think he just disappeared because he's very busy and he's making actual money, and he don't need to put his face on YouTube on Twitter anymore. You know what I mean? Okay, so and a very important question here: do we need to study DS Algo, CS fundamentals, and system design for jobs and knowledge? That's a very good question, and is a very depends on where you are in the spectrum. Depends on where you are in the spectrum. I'm gonna be completely honest. Data structures design. I mean, what do you need to know from data structures? You don't need to know anything. A hash map, a struct, binary tree, a linked list. That's easy. That's easy stuff. Do I know how to make that stuff on the top of my head? No, I don't know that. I know roughly how they work. And you don't need to know how to make one. That's not how programming works. You don't not need to know how you need to write a linked list. You also do not need to know how you need to reverse a linked list or a binary tree. Or this binary tree is probably not a linked list. The only thing you need to know is when you should use them. You know? That's the only thing you should know. It's the same thing like, for example, SIMD. We know SIMD. SIMD. Do we need to know what SIMD, how it all works, and how these algorithms, how you need to know? You don't need to know that. What do you need to know is when should you when could be SIMD something nice to use. For example, if you have a big array or something, and you, I don't know, something like that, something like this, then you should think like, hey, I have this array of numbers, and I need to do this computational maybe at the same time. Or maybe SIMD could be, I read something about SIMD, or I heard something that SIMD is very good at doing this simultaneously, or it's going to increase speed, yada yada. It's specifically made for that kind of stuff. I don't know either. I'm not a specialist in SIMD. If you know, that's the moment you're going to be a specialist in SIMD. But before you never encounter a problem, why should you be a specialist at this? The same thing counts for binary trees and linked lists. If you need to know when should I use a linked list? When could a binary tree be interesting? When this, when that. And the moment you really need it, because you know when, that's the moment you're going to specialize yourself in that. The problem is that all these companies, especially these FANG companies, they want you to know that. Why? Because everybody is sending their resume. Like legit, every single engineer on the fucking... I never want to work for these guys. I don't fit in such a team. I'm too stupid for that as well. So whatever's going to happen, I'm never going to pause an interview because I'm legit. I can never solve all these questions. I won't. I'm going to fail so hard. But so many people are basically sending their resumes there. So many people want to work there that they need to have some kind of a filtering mechanism. So they're going to make it as hard as possible. So they're only going to hire the best of the best of the best of the best of the best that know everything. You know what I mean? The walking encyclopedias. How do you say that? That's what they want, right? They don't need builders. They need monkeys. Monkeys with a lot of brains. For spreading the number in a matrix across lots of small processors, exactly. Beam-based D-Live forum, exactly. Something like that. I did not know that, but I know it somewhere in the top of my head. And the moment I will need it for something, that's where I will dive in, right? And after that, I will probably be an expert in SimD for quite a while, until I forget everything, right? That's basically how I operate in my life. Thank you. You don't even realize how helpful that was. But that's for me the same back Jos Santos, because the question about the product for the project here, right? That's how it went for me as well. I don't know where the project is here. The project stuff. I mean, I have this all the time. Did you see my GitHub profile? I have so many dead projects, man. Even still of today, I'm doing that on Twitch. Or on YouTube. I'm super psyched about something we're gonna build together. I'm pumping everybody up. 200 people are in the waiting line. Oh, yes, yes. And then I'm gonna do one stream and I'm tired of that. You know what I mean? Hop to something else. Happens for me the same thing. The reason why I'm saying this is because I did not read this in the book, right? This is not invented. This is how I felt, you know? Everything I'm telling you here, everything that I'm showing on my YouTube, on my Twitch, on my videos, in my course or whatever, on my Twitter is all personal experience. I did this, right? This is how it went from me. Yes, I'm gonna make a game. This time is different. I'm gonna make a fucking game. And I'm gonna make it in Golang. No. After 3 days. No, I'm gonna make it in Golang. Golang is not for a game. I'm gonna make it in C++. And I'm going in C++. And then I'm struggling here because I have skill issues. Bam. Oh, shit. I don't know how to do. Using templates in C++. Ah, shit. Templates. Everything is borking. I don't know. Compiler errors. I cannot fix it. Spending the whole day. Boom. Back to Golang the game. Porting the game back to Golang. Then, oh, shit. But Golang is not made for games. Doubts. And then, oh, shit. Wasting so much time. But hey, nobody's gonna play the game, man. Game in the graveyard. That's how it went for me. But I kept doing that. Kept doing these things. And that's how I learned, right? That's how I learned how to make that other game. And how to use Blender and all that stuff. All these minor things. All part of the process, guys, this. If you are something like this, if you struggle with the same things that I did, all part of the progress. This one, all part of the progress. SimD. Chances are very low that you're gonna use SimD. Yeah, this thing. The fail cycle. Here. All part of the process. All part, baby. Completely normal. But you think that's not normal because nobody is telling you that. Everybody is telling you that you're a loser. And everybody is acting on YouTube like he's the best. And they are great because they worked at that. And they're much smarter than you. But that's not true. At least I'm not. At least I'm not. Advice: overcoming perfectionism. So to come back on this data structure stuff, I think having a high overview is nice, but basically spending your whole fucking day at doing these lead code stuff to be an expert in reversing all that bullshit, I think it's a little bit over the top. I think it's a little bit over the top. Any advice on overcoming perfectionism? Perfectionism is the thief of all joy. Just the same like, how do you call that? Comparison. Comparison and perfectionism is the thief of all joy. Because I think people that are basically member from a long time on my community and see a lot of videos from myself, sometimes I try to be not perfectionistic, but I still got myself that if I start a new project, I always want to do it good. It's the same thing. If you start a new project, I'm going to take it green. It's going to be, let's make a scale here. That's how it works for me, still as of today. Right? You have the scale. This is going to be perfectionism and time. And when I start a new project, what happens is that because I made mistakes in the past, right? All these code base, they tend to be very sloppy at a certain point of time because we need to engineer and solve problems, and you want to see these things work quickly for your feedback loop, and things are going to end up very dirty and all that stuff, and your tests are even going to be dirty, and everything's going to be dirty. Just like, nah, everything's going to be dirty. But, so you start a new project, and you're going to be good variable names, nice project structure, tests, documentation, beautiful, readme, license. It's going to be so good. But at a certain point of time, what I see is that my perfectionism goes down until a certain point that I have regret. And this is happening for almost 20 years in my life. Always the same thing. Project starts very nice. I'm thinking about stuff twice. Renaming stuff thrice. 3 times. Does it mean? But at a certain point of time, you need to start solving stuff and things that you don't know, and then you need to start copy pasting stuff and start moving stuff around, and that's when things go south, and the perfectionism and the goes down, and the dirtiness comes into the play. And after 20 years, it's still the same. So I think it's the nature. I'm start thinking that it's the nature of code bases that at a certain point of time, things will be dirty, and it's going to be dirty in every single company. Because if you need to keep your perfectionism high, that's going to be, if this is progress, right? Progress T. This is perfectionism, and this is the progress in time. But the higher you keep your perfectionism up, which basically means that you're gonna get less stuff done in time, right? So you need to find some kind of a middleman would be nice. Some kind of a middleman. That would be good. But I can't. I tried. I can't. It's the same thing when my house is a mess. At a certain point of time, I had enough with the mess in my house. The same thing is in my car. Right now, it's a new car. So now it's clean and it's perfect, and nobody can basically fart in it. You know what I mean? Don't touch this, don't touch that. Clean your shoes. You know what I mean? Can you please put that in the trunk? But I know that after a couple of months, it's going to be a fucking driving trash can with 510 horsepower. That's what's going to happen, right? It's going to be a trash can. It's going to be full of bananas pelts. It's going to be full of water bottles. It's going to be full of protein shake bakers that if you open it, you're going to instantly die from the fucking explosion because they are so old. But at a certain point, it's same in my house, but I have a cleaning lady, luckily. But at a certain point of time, I'm so tired of this messy car that I'm going to clean it up. And this time it's going to be different, right? This time, I'm going to keep it clean. This time, my code base is going to be clean, but it's never happened, right? It's always going south, and it's going to get dirty again. But I get a lot of things done. That's the thing. And that's the same with my car. It's clean, but after 1 week, it's back driving trash can. You know, that's how it works. And that's the same with my code bases, right? This time it's different, does not work. It does not work like that. So perfectionism, I would say progress over perfectionism, but I don't think that's true. I think you need to find a middle line. I don't think that I'm the correct person to answer this question because I am very progress oriented, and I don't really think a lot about how things should work idiomatically, although people say that I'm, without knowing, write some idiomatic code, why not? But I'm pretty sure that I keep things very dirty at some times, but I think that's... You need to understand that I do not work for big companies. I do not have experience, guys, right? You need to understand that. I do not have experience with big companies. I worked at some big companies, but not at big companies, right? I never worked for the Googles. I never worked for the Netflixes. I never worked for FANG companies, like these big fucking giant motherfuckers. So I do not know. I can imagine that they have all these procedures. That's also the reason why, if I'm not working there, because I'm not the man for that. I'm a progress, get stuff done oriented programmer that is very good at the 80%, right? Remember, this 80% of, you have a task, 100% is task completed. I'm very good at the engineering part, the 70-80%, right? Depends on who you are. Find a middle line. I'm interested in learning Go. At my job, I use PHP. Should I start using Golang for my next project or stick with PHP and JavaScript? Well, this is something else, right? Anthony, they have the same name, Anthony Dinino. So basically, what we just said here is, if you're new, just keep it simple. Pick one language and navigate your space. At a certain point of time, you're gonna have 2 years of experience. Actually, to be honest, guys, let's draw this line. And this is going to be very nice. Look at that. It's all in my mind. So we're going to have this line here, right? I'm going to make some time spans. Let me say 2 years in. This is amazing. That I did not thought about this, to be honest. Holy crap. Thank you so much, other Anthony, for reminding me. 2 years in, then we're going to have 5 years. Something like that. At 10 years, I mean, that doesn't really... At that point, 5 or 10 years doesn't really make any difference, to be honest, right? 5 and 10 years, what is the it's like a... It's a special curve, right? It's like an exponential. Is it exponential? It's not. It's like a reverse exponential curve. How do you call that? Sigmoid? No. That's the other thing. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a smart kid on the block. So basically, let's say you're starting out as a developer right here. Right, we know what you need to pick. If you're new, right? If you're new, it's GS, PHP, something like that. Actually, PHP and GS, it's all going naturally, right? That's how I learned that. It's just, hey, I'm gonna make a website, a clan website. I'm just gonna make it, and all these CSS, HTML, GS, PHP, it all comes gradually, right? But then at a certain point of time, I also swapped languages, right? Because of course, Node.js and all that stuff. So at 2 years, you can basically start experimenting, right? With, I don't know, get some Python stuff going. Maybe you already experienced that, right? In these 2 years, maybe you have. It could be possible that you could do Go or something. I would never go Rust. I would never do that in my whole life. Something like that. Maybe a Ruby, because my first 2-3 years, I just was just HTML and PHP. That was it. Ruby, woo, it looked dangerous. Python, woo, only for the elite, man. Elite are writing Python. Of course, now looking back, it was like, Python, Ruby, they are basically, it's all the same shit, to be honest. But back in the day, it was like, oh, because I remember that Twitter was written in Ruby on Rails, and I checked that out, and I saw these signs, like these like these things. I saw these variables from time to time. Or foo or something, and I was, ooh, what the hell is that? Never heard of that. And let's go, get away. It's too complex, right? I would do that, right? GS PHP, 2 years in, then you can start learning something else because you have a good base. 2 years, you know, you're in web dev, you know what's going on, right? You already went to Reddit, you know how the technology, social media behaves. Then you can check something else. And after 5 years, it's like, whatever. After 5 years, you're very well fundamentalized. You know what I mean? In the programming space. At that point, you do whatever the fuck you want, in my opinion. Whatever. If you wanna learn Rust, you learn Rust. If you wanna learn Zik, you learn Zik. It's your. After 5 years, It's all up to you, in my opinion. But this is the most crucial part where people fuck up is the first, before the first 5 years, right? That's where they go missed. They don't have fundamentals and they start programming languages that are not fundamentalistic. Is that even a word? You know what I mean? Like anti-fundamental languages. I have 2 years experience. Well, it's nice, right, Anthony? Anthony, if you have 2 years experience and you're writing already the fundamental languages, the backup plan that always gonna work, PHP, JavaScript, HTML, all that stuff, just simple web dev, very important, right? If you have that base stuff for 2 years, it's time to explore something else on your list. And after 5 years, you can do what you want, because after 5 years, you have seen it all, right? In my opinion, you have seen it all. And with what you have seen it all, what I mean by that is you have, unless you live under a rock, but you have seen how the technology landscape, how it behaves, right? It's all a bunch of hypes. You know what I mean? Hypes. Which cream do you use for your head? It's so shiny. Actually, none. And I need to shave myself. It's the fucking light. It's the light that's on my head. Boom. That's why it's shiny. It's like a mirror. Mirror of Calandra. For the only some people will understand. Okay. What is the roadmap for the total coder? Well, in the total coder is basically like what I'm doing here as well is building this Avenue stuff as well, right? It's like seeing you is showing you exactly how I would code stuff, explaining why and all these things. A real production that's going to be used in production in Golang. And I'm also going to use some SvelteKit stuff for some front end. I'm also planning on making some other languages. Like, my goal is to turn you into somebody that can build stuff. That's important, because if you know how to build stuff at a certain point in your career, at a certain point in time, you're gonna be grown up, I would say. You're gonna, okay, I get it. And then it's up to you. Then it's your choice. You can choose whatever you want to do. Do you want to be a DevOps engineer, whatever? Do you want to be an indie dev, whatever? You're gonna know it, because you know what I mean. It's like a total code, like the total man. Was a total man. Look at this. This is a total man. You know what I mean? Jacked, smart, wealthy, well spoken, can market. The total man. That was a total coder. It's the same thing. You're a total coder. You're not. If you're in the Python team and they're gonna fire you at Google, you're gonna stay because you're a total coder, because you know how to navigate in your life as an engineer. How to abuse your engineering skills to make a buck. That's what it is, actually, right? Yeah, baby. I like this. A lot of people are gonna like that. But hey, guys, it's just what I would do. Because sometimes I see, hey, is this your first language? Is Go your first language? Like, huh? How can Go be your first language? That would be sick. Then you're doomed to fail. I'm not gonna lie. On a scale from 1 to 10, where would you place taking time off on your job projects on the scale? Taking time off. Listen, I'm a binary person, right? I'm gonna be honest here. I work and my girlfriend hates it. I'm a black or white person. This is no racist. I'm a black or white, right? I'm a binary person. There is no such thing as gray. It's black or it's white. It's with everything like this, right? It's with gaming. Hey, Anthony, why should you game? Come join Discord, Anthony. Where are you? Come join Season of Discovery in World of Warcraft. Let's play the Rogue again, right? Let's clap all these noobs. Let's make them cry and quit. Yeah, but I have no time. Yeah, but just, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes a day. Excuse me? 45 minutes? That's not enough. If I enter the space of World of Warcraft, if I enter the gaming scene, I enter the gaming scene. You know what I mean? Which basically means at least 3 hours a day. How can you be good? How can you basically clap people's cheeks in every single game if you do not play 3 hours a day? Saturdays, occupied for gaming. Sundays, occupied for gaming. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I cannot enjoy gaming like the gray zone. It's gonna be I'm all in or I'm all out. That's the same thing with side projects. I'm all in or I'm all out. There is no such thing. Oh, let's work on this side project 30 minutes a day. You know what I mean? From time to time, I work on my side project. Are you fucking crazy? You work on the fucking side project until it's done. Most of the time, you're gonna work on your side project until you're burned out, you know? That's how it is. And that's with my side projects. It's with gaming. It's with everything I do in my life. I keep doing stuff at 500 throttle speed % until I get burned out, and then I need to, I don't know, do something else, relax, refresh for a couple of days, weeks, and then I'm back for 500%. That's how I do stuff, right? That's how I operate. I work until I can't anymore, and I do it again. That's how it works. Is that the best thing? Probably not. I wish I was more grayish. I really wish I could be somewhere in the gray zone. But I ain't. And I am like that for gym. And for a lot of other stuff. Black or white. It's like that. I'm never gonna half-ass something, you know what I mean? If I commit, I commit. It's with friends, it's with relationships, it's with partnerships, it's with... If I say, I'm gonna help you move your house, I'm gonna help you move your house, my man. Trust me, I'm committing for 100%. You know what I mean? Energy, well slept. I'm ready to move your stuff like a fucking animal. You know what I mean? Like a chimpanzee. Like a silverback. Yeah, like a silverback monkey. You know, and these big boys. I'm not coming there to basically do a talk. No, I'm here to help you, and I commit for 500%. I commit. I always commit. That's what I do. I either gonna show up or I'm not gonna show up. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be... What were the most difficult challenges during your tech career? Teams. Working with people. I swear to God. That was basically such a pain in the ass, man. Other people's opinions were hard. I swear to God. There were some cool people. I really love some colleagues, man. I had some good time with some people, like good fun and yeah, some people were amazing. But some people, man, like most time these project managers, they were so fucking, man, I couldn't stand it because they made the wrong decisions, right? It was already very clear from when I was younger that I'm gonna take over the world, right? All these people were driving their like middle class cars, you know, looking down on me, that I was just a simple developer. I already knew that I'm gonna be at least 100 times as rich as they're gonna be, right? Yeah, I already knew that from the beginning, and that's very hard, operating like a little narcissist in that space, right? Getting orders from people that are basically have no clue what they're talking about. That was so hard for me to do. Very hard. If somebody makes a good argument, I'm going to be the first one to accept it. If I make a mistake, I'm going to be the first one to accept it. And to basically, how do you say that? If I make a mistake, to admit it. But if somebody comes and tells me something, how I need to do, while he's talking basically gibberish, man, that's hard to deal with, man. And that was basically one of the most challenges I had in my career. I'm gonna lie. Yeah. And then I told basically my co-founder Zara, my co-founder from Avenue. She's actually the face right now, I think. Well, how do we actually... Zara Avenue is gonna be fine and all, I guess. Look at that. Let's go to her LinkedIn. Actually, to be honest, it's gonna be my thing is gonna be open. No, it's not. Zara Alubudi from Avenue. So I told her basically we have some kind of the same Ben. Look at Ben. Look at him. He looks like he's escaped from jail. That's not true. He's a handsome guy, very smart. Ben is one of the smartest people I ever know. So basically, we have the same personality. So, and I told her like when we were doing Avenue and all that stuff, we had to deal with a lot of people and a lot of employees and a lot of it was crazy. And I was talking to her and I said, Zara, is it me or is everybody just an idiot? And she needs to laugh. And she said, yeah, I have the same feeling, but you should read this book. And she gave me the book, Surrounded by Idiots. And it's a very good book, and I recommend everybody to read this book. But it's not what you think it is, right? Because people are no idiots, right? We think and we can say that from time to time, like, man, the world is full of idiots, which kind of is, but that's not true. Where can I see this? Hey, so, it's a very good book. I recommend this book to everybody if you want to do some self-development. Do you ever think you're the only one making any sense? Yes. Or try to reason with your partner with disastrous results? Yes. Do long rambling answers drive you crazy? Yes. Or does your colleague's abrasive manner get you back up? Yes. You're not alone. Thank very God. Right? Thank you God. Right? After a disastrous meeting with a highly successful entrepreneur who was genuinely convinced he was surrounded by idiots, communication expert and bestseller author Thomas Eriksson dedicated himself to understanding how people function and why we often struggle to connect with certain types of people. This book is so good that you need to read it. Because we are not surrounded by idiots, we are surrounded by different mindsets, people that are programmed differently. And you can manipulate. That's maybe a bad way of saying that, but the TLDR is that every human being is categorized in some kind of a color, right? I'm going to give you the TLDR of the book in some kind of a color, and each color has some kind of a, how do you say it, a character, right? Some kind of a personality trait, and based on the color, you need to treat that person differently. You need to approach it differently, and what they say, you need to perceive it also differently, because they think and operate differently. They are not idiots, they just think differently. And because you think that everybody is the same, you're gonna talk to somebody as it was a copy of you, but they aren't. So you need to, especially in business and with colleagues, and if you want to, especially as a leader, you need to understand who the people around you are and how you need to basically trigger them to get stuff done. It's very important. Some people can solve a task with just one paper. Some people need to have more context. Some people need to be felt a little bit more safe, need to have a safety net, need to be treated a little bit differently, right? So like the same with my girlfriend, she cannot handle my directness. It hurts her, you know what I mean? It's like, and then I think, man, why are you crying again? You know what I mean? Why are you mad again, man? But it's like, I just talk to her if she was myself, but I cannot do that because sometimes I can come out of the fucking corner, bam, and I can smack somebody on the cheeks, but actually I don't realize that I'm so hard. So direct. I don't realize that. But people perceive that as, what the fuck, this guy, and they're gonna get hurt. So very important. There are no idiots. There are probably idiots in the world, but most of the time, if you think you're surrounded by idiots, you need to read this book and adjust your way of communicating with those people. This is gonna be very important. What's going on here? Surrounded by idiots. Yeah, man. Very good, very good. Didn't see the side of you last week. Yeah, I know, but yeah, I still need to work on myself, Mansoor. Man, some people need to yeah. Man, I understand what you want to say. But beginner going open source repo, please suggest some project which is just starting recently. I don't know. Okay, last one here. Ashton Reef, what the hell are you talking about? How to know what your salary should be? Ashton, you're sitting at university. Get your fucking degree, and then we can talk, okay? Ashton? By the way, you're an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. You're going to be a businessman. You're already a billionaire in your mind. Why would you actually care about the salary? You know what I mean? The thingy here. Mutas Chara in going back in senior mid-level. How to succeed in interviews. Oh man. I'm getting tired, I'm not gonna lie. How do you succeed in interviews? Well, I have no clue. It depends. Depends. I mean, if you know that you need to do an interview for some kind of a company, you just search the company. That's what I also teach in a full-time GoDev thingy. You can check that course as well. It's a big Golang course, and there is a piece of how to get hired. And it's like, if you know exactly the company where you're basically going to do your interview with, you can search so many things up, and what kind of a tech stack are they using, and you can start learning a lot of that. You know what I mean? You can start learning the company you actually need to go through. So how can you fail? So in my opinion, listen, so the hardest part, in my opinion, I swear to God, and we're going to cover that, like I said, tomorrow is the first private live stream of the Total Coder. So if you want to be a part of that, you can still sign up at thetotalcoder.com. 127 members, only 1 week old. So you can see that we're growing, and I'm going to do big of marketing. It's going to be the biggest tech community in the whole fucking world, and it's going to be mine. It's already in my mind. I'm already busy building a fucking big scale marketing plan. But like a big scale. And I mean, I'm gonna capture the whole market. It's not for everyone, of course. Not for everyone. Look at that. Boom, man! Boom! $9! It's that easy. It's that easy, man. It's just that easy. Thank you, Sam. That easy. $9. You know what I mean? There's also a lot of work that needs to put into that. But anyway, so the hardest part of getting hired is getting your appointment. That's the hardest. The hardest part is getting your appointments with HR and passing HR. That's the most. That's the. Did I actually? Excalibur. That's the hardest part. I always click this thing to write. The hardest part in getting a job is getting the first meeting, because I cannot write appointment, it's too difficult. Getting the first meeting with HR and proceed. What do I mean by that? If you can get your appointment with HR, which is always the first one most of the time, and you can convince HR that you are a good fit, then 80% of your 80% hired. You're 80% hired. That's the hardest part of them all. It's the hardest part. I am 100% sure that if I can pass HR, they're always going to hire me. I'm going to trick them into hiring me every single time. Every single time. Every single time. 100%. Because I'm way too good. I can sell way too good. 100% time I'm gonna scam them into hiring me. 100%. Be very careful, because what I also teach is that you can make yourself better than you actually a little bit are. Right? Presenting yourself a little bit better. It's very important from time to time. But you're also going to make up for that. That's also what I learned in that lesson. Very important. You can exaggerate a little bit, but you also need to make up for that. I'm gonna cover that right now. The hardest part is basically getting to HR, because you're gonna basically have a fight with a lot of competitors sending a resume. So your resume is very important, right? Things are missing on your resume, and probably things are too much on your resume, right? That's very important thing. We also cover that in the Total Coder on these meetings. I'm gonna vet your resume. Very important. The biggest goal in landing a job is to get to HR, to get this appointment with Zoom or in real life, and then convince her that you are a good fit for the team. Why is it the most difficult part? Because HR has skill issues. They don't know. They cannot perceive you as an engineer. They can only perceive you psychologically as a team member. They cannot perceive your skills. That's where the assignment comes, right? That's why I also do these assignments on Total Coder. Oh, that's coincidence, right? Yeah, of course. The goal is to make you Total Coder, getting you on the fucking job market. Yeah? You know what I mean? Getting you on the fucking job market, so you can actually leave some kids, something behind when you retire, right? Your assignment. And then you're probably gonna have a call a face-to-face call, where you're gonna review your assignment, or they're gonna ask you some questions. Hey, if you cannot pass that, that's your problem, right? I mean, you know the company. You can basically study the company completely out of your head. You know everything. You know their investors. You know what tech stack they use. They know every fucking single thing. But you need to put some time in it, right? You need to put some time in investigating that stuff, right? You think I'm gonna send a fucking resume made by ChatGPT and it's all good. No, it's not. I cannot get hired. I sent 1,000 mails. Yeah, 1,000 fucking wrong mails with a wrong resume. If your name is unreadable, your name is gonna be Mark Thompson from now on. You know what I mean? Mark Thompson. It's not gonna be a name nobody can pronounce. Mark Thompson. And you take a fucking random picture. No, it's not true. But I mean, make sure it's decent, right? Make sure. So many tips I can give you, man. It's like tips that I cannot say here on the YouTube thing. Which branch? Can you tell me which branch it is? What do you mean by branch? Zisa Mehra. Fernando Cornera, same. If you don't work at least 2 hours a day. Yeah, okay. Nice. That's the same thing for me, right? It's all in. What is better for freelancers? Tech skill combos or tech non-tech skill combos? You need to have everything. You need to be a total coder. 100%. Everything. Which brand? What do you mean with brand? I'm confused. This thing. Brand. The website. I'm confused with brand, man. I'm so sorry. If you can elaborate a little bit. Yeah, name is so important. After 4 years in a company and as a foreign people calling me Shimmy so much that my wife sometimes switches to Shimmy to death. What's the current curriculum like in Total Coder? Ah, yeah, I see. Okay, now I know. Yeah, the third loop of this same song is inspired. It's always the same playlist, right? So the problem is, at a certain point of time, this playlist here. Why is this? Explicit. Looks a little bit like I can miss it, huh? This is what you can call bad bitch. What? This is what you can call bad bitch. Yeah, looks a little something like this. looks a little bit like I can miss. This is what you can call bad bitch. Explicit song, we can do that. Because we are way past in the stream. We are 2 hours, 45 minutes and nobody's watching till here later, you know what I mean? If people watch, the people are already gone at 10 minutes, so if we can do whatever we want here, right? Nobody's coming so deep in the rabbit hole, right? If I swear to God, I swear. So if you are on YouTube watching this again, right? And you're right here, please make a comment on the video because you are a hero. Make a comment, right? If you rewatch this, if you never saw this live stream, but you're still watching this video and I swear to God, say your name because you're gonna be a chat. You're gonna make it 100%. MNMGG wristwatch brand in your hand on the website. The total color image. Ah, the brand of the image. Ah, yeah, no, okay, I see what it is. Oh yeah, yeah. It's this watch. This is the where is my watch? It's the thing in that, the Swedish brand. Victorinox. Victorinox. So I'm gonna tell you what's happening. So basically, Victorinox, what they did is they made these Swiss Army knives, but with 9/11, right? The terroristical shenanigans hoax, basically. What happened with 9/11? There was a big security guidelines, and they could not sell these Swiss Army knives anymore, right? They couldn't do that anymore. So what they did is they switched of making watches. Very good one, with sapphire glass and all that stuff, right? So they are not way too expensive, but I think I have this one, some kind of this thing. I think mine was 700 euro. 700 is mine. Back in het Wasland Koopcentrum in Belgium. Juwelier Maas. That's where I bought it. 700 euros. So it's not too big. It's not too expensive. I really want a Rolex. Why? Because I think it's not a waste of money. It's an asset. And the problem is that the Rolexes are very hard to get. But hey, this is what it is. This is mine. No, not. Almost. Actually. I think this is mine. Why is this so cheap? Nice investment, huh? They fucked me over. Wait, do I have the ladies thing? Did they sold me a ladies thing? Anyway, that's the watch. Victorinox, right? Sapphire glass, so it's a good watch. It's a decent quality. It's not like your Armani bullshit. It's 700 euros. A very good watch. It's like a beginner's watch, like the beginner decent watches, right? Of course, if you go higher, you're gonna pay 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 euro for a watch later on. I only see 17 assignment week 1 to 16 available. Yeah, no, of course not. The total code is just being made. How is that even possible? I mean, look at that. I mean, how can assignment 1 to 16 is already there if I made the total coder 1 week ago? This is brand new, my man. But there are some videos. You can already be here for a very long time, right? There are a lot of hours already, right? And the other stuff. And I'm gonna put all the Patreon videos as well. I'm gonna hire somebody that's going to put all the Patreon videos on the total coder as well. So hey, it's gonna be good, man. All right, boys, girls. So what did we learn today? Before we're gonna wrap it up here, what did we learn? The recap is very simple. You never learn the language. You learn the product. Where is Excalibur again? Something like this. It's fine. Right. If you're a new programmer, you start with the simple fundamental stuff like JavaScript, PHP. I think that's your best bet. After that, after you have a good experience, after you have some if you have some skin in the game, you can choose to do something else, like Python, Go, Ruby. And after 5 years, you can do whatever you want, right? You can choose these rusting zigs. You want to experiment with that if you really want. I would not recommend to that, but you can. That's that, right? Basically, you can take a screenshot if you want to see what language are mostly being used. You can see that what don't we see here? Rust, Zig, and all that stuff. I think it's all a little bit of bullshit. Who are the winners? JavaScript, Java, Python, very good. Python, a very good language to learn. Why? It's everywhere, right? Python, very good. Java, very good. Golang, very good. But make sure that you have your fundamentals, which is JavaScript, in my opinion. Because if you learn that language as your first, second, third, and fourth, it's going to be much easier. Much easier. And you have a good, how do you call that? Backup plan. Because web dev, you can always make money with a web dev. Alright. Yeah, week 17 just means basically it's the 17th. It's the week 17. We are week 17 of this year. So what's going to happen is, Sunday, tomorrow, we do a live stream. We're going to discuss some stuff about the blah, 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 about this thing. About the resume, if people want other questions. It's 1 hour live stream. You can ask whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. If you want to know how to basically feed babies with a spoon, I can teach you that because I have 2 kids. It doesn't really matter. We're going to talk about that live on stream specifically for you guys, for the private members. And then I'm going to after Sunday, I'm going to release the video for the programming assignment and start a new one. Right? Every week, I'm going to give you one, you know. People that want to join can join. People that do not want to make it, they do not make it. Doesn't really matter. It's all up to you. All right, that's how it's gonna work. All right, thanks everyone for being here. Right, if you have more questions, you can jump into the Discord community and ask it. I'm always kind of available to answer a question if I don't forget it. And if I forget it, I'm so sorry. It is what it is. Java has more jobs than Ruby. Yes, it is. So, all right, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna watch a series, drink some wine, and yeah. Tomorrow I'll do the private stream, and on Monday I need to record a podcast for Backend Banter podcast. Let me see that. So guys, go to Backend Banter and maybe you can follow them. Backend Banter. We're gonna be on this podcast. Look at that. Boom. With Lane. Backend Banter. Who is already there? Look at this. Ah. Ducks. Neat code. Who is this guy? No fucking clue. This guy from O'Camel. Bash Bunny. No, not sure who that is. The Prime also went there, I think. Here. Malky. That's where I'm gonna be! So you need to check that. It's the start of my career, of my podcast career, is gonna be there. Okay, guys, thank you very much for that. Actually, to be honest, I'm gonna rate some. Depends on how many viewers I have on Twitch. Let me see. Not quite sure. Man, I'm so fucking hungry as well. 98 viewers. Okay, so we're gonna rate somebody here. We're gonna do that. Who is this guy? Man, I actually low level purple elf. To be honest, I'm gonna but you already have 105. Actually, nobody cares. Let's do it. I'm gonna rate this guy here. Low level learning. Trash puppy. Ah, trash puppy. No, not sure who that is. Okay, so for the people on YouTube, the people on Twitch, we're gonna rate somebody else here. I think it's gonna be a low level boy. For YouTube, thanks for watching, and see you, of course, in the next stuff. I'm gonna rate this guy. Boom, just like that. Press enter here. Boom, do this. How do we do that? How many people are ready to rate, baby? Let's go! Nobody. Yes, let's go, let's go. Wait, I need to wait for the fucking... It's so annoying, guys, because the problem is there are ads, right? 30 seconds, so I cannot see that he says my name. Like, the little bit of a narcissist of myself. I wanna hear him say that. Oh, thank you much, Anthony GG, for the rate. That's what I wanna hear. Is that bad? Am I a bad person, or is it just completely normal that I am like that? It's so weird. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit of a narcissist in me, right? A little bit, like a small part. That's cringe as fuck. Yeah, I know, man. I know. It's true. It's true. But it's all about marketing. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. I love you all. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Of course, YouTube. I know I'm not still here. I know that.
Rolling in with a rating party at 91. What's up, guys? How we doing? How was your stream? How'd it go?